What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? All right, let me get these pseudo killers in here. Hold on for a second.
Normally I don't, like to talk on the track, but I was just thinking the other day, I'm like, damn.
Get these pseudo killers in here. Let me get my zoom up.
Trying to figure out like why they be hating on low. But then I learned, in order to understand the motherfucker, you gotta look at things from their perspective, put yourself in their shoes. That's how I came.
They say Soulja ain't from the hood. He ain't had the news on the stove, he looking too good. Living in the house, fireplace, he burning the wood. Riding in that mirror every day, yeah, just like he should. Bitch, I would if I could, but I hate that nigga. Ain't that nigga, make it look easy, look how break that nigga. Quarterback like Breeze, but he ain't no fucking saint, nigga. I can do it too, but I'm mad cause I can't, nigga. Look at him, look how he never slipping. We should've killed him long ago, now look how he living. It's steady winning, yeah, I'm losing, but I chose struggle. Skinning and grinning, he a real nigga, man, but fuck low, taking Henny, he got a bad habit. A queen stay on his arm, with his granddaddy named was Peter Rabbit, fuck him. Nigga don't trust him, yeah, he solid as steel, but that money gon' rust him, and too many people love him.
I can understand, goddamn, when a nigga winning, and you losing, you kind of be feeling some type of way and shit, but I'm like, let's all get this money, you know what I'm saying? But they continue to goddamn, but that ain't none of my business. But this is just me, it's dedicated to them hater nation, man, you know what I'm saying?
He a dirty nigga. Bitch and give him back like he ain't heard of niggas. Ain't scared of niggas, he was raised by the young and fearless. When's the last time you seen this nigga? Yeah, he think he clean. When he pull up on the scene with his feelings missing. Sociopathic, but I wouldn't want my car next to his in traffic. And at me he's laughing, it's like he's the price and I'm the passion. It's like he's packing and I'm the one that's lacking. Fatal attraction, affirmative action. Hey, hell nah, nigga can't be. He just made another chess move I can't see. He probably feel like this Nintendo, he the game genie. On FB, he always talking shit, I'm about to be leaked. You see me, never see eye to eye. His circle small, but he always dividing the pie. I can't lie, but fuck him. Nigga don't trust him. Yeah, he solid as steel, but them haters gon' rust him. Man, too many people love him.
Yeah, man, damn, that's how y'all feel. Shit, I mean, what can I do? I mean, hey, I want us all to eat, you feel me? But everybody can't win, it gotta be a loser. So, I mean, shit, fuck it. This shit was jamming. I like, classic shit. Goddamn, about to pull up, do say in the cup. Cause I don't give a fuck. It's all love though. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we still going. Shit. That's what I'm talking about. Let's
Q. Q. Let me get my man Vance up in here. I don't know where the rest of these Negroes at. But what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Pseudo Killers Sunday night at the movies with the Pseudo Killers. We are back, just trying to stay consistent. So we're doing this Sunday night at the movies where we'll play various videos that we watch. We always do the reading, right? The different sources and stuff. But it's also interesting videos that we watch that informs us about certain topics. So on Sundays, we're going to do this show. This is our second show in a row, second Sunday in a row. At the movies with the Pseudo Killers. So we're going to watch a couple videos and we're going to go over it, discuss them. Let me see. Unc sent me what he wanted in the thumbnail late. I had already started the show. So the real title of the show is Sunday Sunday Night at the Movies with the Pseudo Killas. Part 2, Racing James, in parentheses, Egypt. So that's what it is. I'm waiting for him to come in now. Let me make sure all my mic's hot. Boom. All that's hot. Vance, you there? Is your mic hot?
Yeah. What's good? I'm here.
Ain't nothing. That's what's up. All right, Vance already in here. His mic hot. We good. So
Yep.
everything seems like it's working right now. Cross your fingers. I don't have no malfunctions. Yesterday I was live. 10 minutes into the show, it was a huge thunderstorm up here. 10 minutes into the show, my power went out.
Yeah, I see. I had actually heard. I had clicked into the show and heard you say that. I was like, "What?" Or I heard Kent say something about it. I was like, "Damn, what the hell happened?" I clicked in. It seemed like everything was good, but yeah, I'm not surprised. It happens. It happens. You know, technical difficulties.
Definitely messed up the whole situation. Let me say.
Right. Definitely. So, but did you have to restart the show?
No, it's crazy, man. These Macs and these programs is nuts. When my power came back on, the program that I use that I keep telling all y'all to get that got Macs is Ecamm. And Ecamm Live just was like, continue show. Do you want to continue show? And everybody was still on there. And I just pressed continue show. And it kept going from there. So, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They already got a damn safety.
Yeah, it got a fail safe.
If it fuck up. Yeah, if it got a fail safe, if it mess up. Yeah, that's fire.
Yep, because Yolanda and them was on there. They was like, yo, the stream did. And I could see everybody comments when I looked on my phone. Everybody was still in there like, yo, what happened? The stream did, but I ain't have no power in my house. Computer off, everything. You feel me? But the program was still going. It was still live.
Right.
Crazy.
Right.
Messed me up.
Nuts. Yeah,
that's slick though, right?
Yeah, for sure. If we running it live, if anybody running it live, they need to have that on deck just in case.
Facts. You know what I mean? So, yo, why is Unc still texting the group and didn't click the link yet? I don't understand, bruh.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. What is he doing? I'm confused.
He's still worried about the title. I told him 10 minutes ago we was live already.
Right. By the time you go to the replay, you can fix the title. Yeah. Can you fix it live or you gotta wait?
I think I can fix it live.
Yeah, he's tripping.
Yeah, I think I can fix it live. But I'm gonna wait for him to go in it because I want to go to. Well, I might can do it right here from this computer. Let's see. Juju, what's going on, Juju? I see you. I gotta speak to the chat. Hold on, give me a second up. Vance. That made me want to rethink what I'm about to do here.
No, he.
All right, bam. Let me see. So I'll go here. Let me go to my YouTube. What's been going on, though, Vance? Let me make.
Oh man, cool and working, trying to get this paper. You know, enjoying the fourth. There was some fights on last night.
Oh yeah, you're a big UFC fan. I already know.
Yeah, it was a blowout card. Some of it actually didn't live up to what it was kind of hyped up to be. That most of the fights was one-sided. There was a disqualification to open the card up with, so it was kind of an night. So we'll see with some upcoming fights they have. But there was a couple of highlights though. But yeah, you know, cool and trying to get this money. Trying to get like y'all, you know, get 30 Max, the Air Max, the AirPods Max, all that. I'm trying to catch up with y'all. That's all.
No, you already got it. You don't want to go down that dumbass road like that. You don't want to go down that road. Trust me.
Right. I'm trying to
Shit,
catch up.
waste the goddamn money.
You ain't got nothing going on for the 4th?
Man, I went to a cookout yesterday and it rained on us. So
Oh
I've been
yeah.
chilling all day. Yeah.
It's raining here too, bro. Like I completely forgot about it. I didn't even think about that yet. The weather's shitty as fuck over here in the Carolinas.
Hell yeah.
I
Let me
ain't got
see. All right, let me see.
I ain't got no cookouts. My mom named Shani hit me back when I asked her where she cooking. I'm like, damn, no,
Yeah,
she ain't making nothing.
she ain't even respond to your goofy ass.
Yeah, she said, nigga, why you even ask me that?
Right.
You know I'm out here getting this money too.
Switch accounts.
But
Let me go to the Pseudo Killer channel. Yo, our video's been doing real good though.
absolutely. Y'all been doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, them videos been doing real good. A lot of people watch the playbacks. Like they go back and watch it afterwards. We get more views on the playback, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
For sure. And if y'all listening live right now, go check out the we on Spotify, iTunes. If y'all just at work busy, can't watch the video. And when I look at the analytics, people listen to those as well. So yeah, definitely got an engagement with an audience for sure.
Oh, so you can see that they be watching it on a on the Apple podcast joint, or you can see the analytics.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see the readings we tapping into for sure. I can.
Let me see. Explore. What do I go to? I'm doing a live video right now, so I would go to library. Come on, click the link, man.
Oh wow, and he illing right now. He must still be eating his pork ribs. He trying to get his shit together right now. I know he probably had a cookout trying to get it right.
He just put in something. Creflo Dollar. Let me read this.
I know Kent Crazy, so put that in there.
Oh, Kent put that in there. Kent Crazy.
Yeah. Outside the cube, I see him in the chat. Wild conversation on Saturday the other day. Wow, I'm still in shock.
Oh yeah, Cube still with the monkey business. Hey, Cube, I thought we already done squashed that, man.
It's crazy.
Go ahead.
It's crazy because we kind of came to an understanding based off that conversation in the back chat. So it's thank you, Q. We appreciate that. We cleaned a lot of things up in the back chat. It was murky after that side of the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you help bring us clarity.
Definitely.
You help bring us clarity. So, you part of the team for that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you don't get clarity on certain subjects until certain questions is posed. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
You assume certain things, right? Like you don't be sure, but you assume some of the information, right? But it's nothing like getting clarity, you know what I mean, on certain things. So, yeah, that we
100%.
It's about sharing ancestors with things and not coming from them. That's the that's the main thing. I think that's what Cube is getting mixed up. We shared a common ancestor somewhere down the line, but we didn't come from that. You know what I mean?
Right.
We don't come from monkeys.
Right,
you know
correct. Correct, yeah. Cube have you mixed up, hit you with that Allen Iverson cross, so he'd be like, damn, I ain't even see that one coming.
Bobby Banger coming in the building. BB King.
There you go.
Bobby Banger in the building.
It's good, man. What it do?
Chilling.
It's movie time.
Movie time? Y'all ain't started yet? What clips y'all got first? Or y'all want me to start off? What y'all doing?
You starting it off. You kicking it off. You got to introduce the show. We just in here talking. We ain't even got 50 people in here yet.
Oh, we ain't got no people in yet? All right, let's not start the movies yet, man. Let's get it going, man. Yo, that fight happened already, Vance?
Last night.
What happened? Was it a good fight?
Yeah. Which one? Yeah, it was a decent fight. Israel fought this guy, Jared Cannonier. He's decent. The guy he fought, he's pretty athletic. And Israel basically just beat him tactically, outpointed him, pretty much pitched a shutout. But the story of the night is the guy who fought previously, that's also in his weight class, that beat him twice in a kickboxing fight. So, and he knocked the guy out in the first or second round, I want to say. Mm-hmm. And that's really what the night was about. They want to line that fight up, and Israel, called him out after his fight. So they're about to make that fight happen. It's going to be pretty interesting to see. I don't know.
Oh, he beat Israel in that when he was a kickboxer, right?
Kickboxer. Yeah. And Israel was winning the second fight. He just got tired and got lazy at the end, and he caught him. And I wouldn't be too. I know Israel can take the power because he moved up to 205 and fought one of the hardest hitting guys in that division and took the hits on the chin and didn't get knocked out, didn't get wobbled. So he could take the power for sure. I just think it was probably like they was in 10, 12 rounds at that point, and he just got banged. Got caught him right where he needed to. So, but it was some good fights.
Yeah, that's a good sell right there, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's gonna be hella hype. Hopefully it'll live up. Hopefully it lives up to it.
Yeah, we ain't gonna start rocking till we get at least 55 people in the damn building. Right or wrong, Chef and L?
Yeah, that's a fact. They slow getting in here tonight. Everybody at cookouts. Give them a chance.
Yeah. Get your drink on. Get your beer. I like the Heineken, the non-alcoholic version.
Okay. My dad fucks with them. From time to time.
Mm-hmm. Time to time, I keep a 6-pack and that motherfucker be a whole year.
Damn. They wiping the pork off their feet, the barbecue off their pork ribs. They gotta get right now. They running to the bathroom right now.
Yeah, they might be YouTubed out, but even all day. Family be calling, what the hell is you doing? Yeah, we got a good what title you got up there, Chef and L?
I know. Hold on. Somebody in the chat said Alex Pierre is his name. I know the name. I just didn't want to say it because it's a French thing. That's too inside baseball. But I see you, bro. Sarcasm. Go ahead,
What happened, yo? What did he say?
He tried to. I didn't say the guy who beat Alex or Israel. I didn't say his name. Alex Pierre. He's a Brazilian guy. They pretty much the same. Their attributes are pretty much the same. He just has more power than Israel. But yeah. Please, yeah, I know, trust me. But go
ahead. Yeah, where we at? We got 40. How many we got? Do we still got the 48 in the building? Come on, man.
49.
Damn. We at the 50. We at the 50. So we can go ahead and get this started, man. This is episode 2, right? Of Pseudo Killas at the movies. I don't know where Sosa at. I don't know where everybody at. I don't know where they at. I don't know where Brendan at. They all supposed to have their clips, but I know I got my clips, man. All right. And pretty much knew what I wanted to talk about. So today's show, about to say brought to you by Keller. I don't know why that ran across my head, all my life growing up, eating Frosted Flakes. That's funny, right? Yeah, so we're gonna talk about race and genes. And once you understand race and genes, then you'll understand Egypt. And we have a lot of conversations back and forth about it. And I'm just fed up to hear. And So everything can be about Egypt, man. Make sure y'all tune into. We had 2 shows last night, man. I thought they was excellent. We had I didn't get a chance to catch the first show, but I definitely dived in on the second show. And shout out to the new people that's coming through the channel, man. Just matriculating from Salnetta TV over to here, man. We definitely appreciate that. So we had some great conversations. We had people that was actually anti-vax, but you know, they start off with, I'm not anti-vax, but did you get the vaccine? No. So if you're in the middle of a damn pandemic, haven't had a pandemic in 100 years, and you're not vaccinated, consider yourself anti-vax. Makes no sense. That's like being in the middle of a war and you refuse to pick up a gun. Feel me, Vance? Yeah, anti-gun. Yeah, you getting shot at,
right.
But you won't bring a gun to protect yourself. Go ahead, Vance.
Oh no. I was just I'm
Funny.
I don't want to cut you, Bill.
Oh, but I want to hear you. You about to say something? Go ahead.
No. I wasn't about to say shit. I fucked your flow up. Go ahead.
So that's my point. That if you ain't get vaccinated through this whole pandemic, consider yourself anti-vax. I don't want to hear that's my choice. Yeah, that's your choice, but you made the choice. You're on the wrong side of history. Yeah, you're on the anti-vax side. You're definitely not on the vaccinated side. Yeah, consider yourself that. I'm not trying to hear it. Don't talk me to death. But anyway, we had a great discussion, and it was funny how some misreading of sources could actually have a person going through a whole pandemic thinking they were safe, but the whole time they misread the source. But I appreciate the conversation, man. The conversation was, we actually allowed each other to talk, got our points across, and I just appreciate the new people coming over. So that's going to be great. So yeah, we're going to have a great, sit back, great, play them clips, and we're going to talk about it. What's going on, Sosa?
Ain't shit popping up for the show. Hey, I'm coming on my computer, so I'm about to log off this phone.
Hey, Sosa, I gotta give you a wrench, man. I'm about to do that now.
He still ain't got
Unc and them ain't
he
shit,
trying
yo.
to get a wrench for a month.
All right, because I was about to start the show off with that, but you ahead of it, so go ahead and do that.
Unc and them ain't shit. They won't do.
What?
I'm hosting late night. You know what I'm saying? Niggas can't drop the link. Niggas
Right.
don't drop the links. The bars be gone and shit. I'm like, bro, I'm assed out.
Right. All right, go ahead.
I don't know why you ain't got no wrench. That's horrible.
He changed his name.
Ain't got no wrench. Vance on up in the chat.
No, he changed his name. I think the Sosa joint got a wrench. I think his other channel.
I'm in here. I got a wrench in the whole thing. I'm SOA.
Okay, man. The show is growing, man. We're gonna start some marketing, and if you care about the show, man, you're gonna definitely subscribe to it, and definitely gonna tell friends about it, man. We're gonna make the content user friendly for show. I think that's important. Yeah, I won't be nutting up too much. I ain't gonna nut up like that. Just like the radio, there's certain curse words you can definitely say on the radio. So it is what's gonna be. But yeah, man. Let me see real quick here. I'm definitely gonna drop the link for the Bobby Banger channel. Let me see where I'm at. On the Bobby Banger channel, I'm gonna tell you how many subscribers I got. All right. I got 133 subscribers, which is good. By the end of the show, I'm trying to get at least 140, 145. I'm gonna get on your nerves till I reach that. All right. Yeah, we need it. If you're in that daggone chat and you have not subscribed to the Bobby Banger channel, then you tripping. Consider yourself tripping. You tripping. You gotta stop tripping. Which is good. Hold on, by the end of this. Yeah, you tripping. And if you look at the wrench, look at my wrench, right? Bobby West the Banger Show. There you go. I'm gonna put this in here. Man, y'all go ahead and subscribe, man, before we get started, man. Get that subscription going. So man, we got Inside the Cube. Yeah, you're a nut, Cube. I ain't even listening to you, bro. Yeah, you're banana. Yeah, I'm not responding to that, yo. So new rule on deck, yo. You gotta at least get 500 views on a video before I even think about it. Then reach 1,000 and I might fuck with you. I'm tired of giving people action. All right? Yeah, Cube. So you need to get in here and politic and tell everybody go watch your video, because right now you're at about 33 views. 33 is not going to move the needle, Mr. Cube. Sorry, brother. Topic must not be worthy. 33 views. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, get that. Do that. We can do that. Pep, I see you. Phil Light, I see you.
Okay,
we got
King Sosa presents. All right.
Flavor, aka the Thug. Got the thugs in the building. I can't even read that. SDXDOXINGA. I don't know what that say. Is it a word? CF. FBA. Yeah. Juju. Oh, Sosa got that wrench. He got that wrench. James Powell. Rastaman. Mm-hmm.
Who gave Sosa the wrench?
He got, huh?
Who gave him the wrench? I don't
know how you get the wrench, Sosa. He gave himself the wrench. I don't know how you get the wrench, Sosa.
I don't see no wrench.
You do got. Oh, that's who that. Oh, who is SOA? Who the hell is that?
That's Vance.
Oh, that's That's Vance.
Yeah, that's me.
What the hell is SOA, Vance?
It's an acronym. It don't mean nothing. I ain't even gonna get into it. I'm gonna change it though.
You ain't gonna tell us the acronym, yo. You ain't being fair.
Nah. Because it's really not. I just need to change. It's like when Double X had Ivan on that motherfucker.
It's science over Africa.
Oh, all right.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Damn, he had to remember what it was.
No, it ain't that. But
no, I ride with it. Hell,
yeah, we definitely going science over Africa. We definitely doing that. Yeah, we definitely gonna do that. Like, we ain't if you don't do that, you're gonna be backwards. Yeah, you're gonna be ass backwards. Yeah, you can't even understand Africa in its proper context without using anthropology and all the things that fit within anthropology. King Sosa presents. That's you, King Sosa. Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta give him a wrench. I got the Bobby Bank. Hey, Chef, you gotta give him a wrench.
I'm trying to find this channel now.
You right? No, just go on the screen itself and click it, because you under the Pseudo Killas, right?
Nah.
What?
Yeah.
You just go up there to his name. King Sosa presents. He got the line. He's the Line of Judah. Huh?
Yeah, that's that Leo, man. Leo.
That Leo. Oh yeah, we got 67 people in the building. We almost at that 70.
Oh, that shit's slick as shit. So all I gotta do is add moderate. Boom.
Right. So you gotta do,
damn.
Bro. You wow, but don't go crazy, man.
Yeah, so I'm wrenching up all my people.
Don't wrench them.
Yeah.
Yo, you funny. You ain't know that.
Who in here? Y'all getting wrenches, yo.
I don't wrench him up.
Yo, like we about to show love with this wrench.
Protect North African Mike, man. They be hating on North Africa.
You might have to protect him.
North African Mike is official. He be putting us some really good sources and shit. I can't even front.
Yeah, I know, and then fuck them up. I'm gonna get all y'all out the game. This silly genetic shit everybody doing. I'm tired of this.
He
shit.
called genetics silly.
Yeah, yes, silly.
You done went crazy over Egypt. You done went crazy over Egypt. You calling genetics silly?
All right, go ahead. Talk.
Egypt,
the big DNA guy. He was DNA
guy, yo.
Nah, nigga.
DNA was the shit when you was going against the motherfucking Moors. DNA was the shit when you was going against Dane Calloway and them. But the moment they tell your ass you ain't Egyptian, you don't want to fuck with DNA no more. That's crazy. I can't fuck with you on that, yo. I can't.
He threw away DNA, the Wikipedia, Encyclopedia Britannica. He threw all that shit to trash that shit. Shit, that's crazy.
So you did what y'all normally do. Y'all mix me into other people's shit. Y'all just did it again. Because I don't think I'm fucking Egyptian. Not at all. Just talking that talk.
You just
talking that talk.
You ain't want to be called
ladies and
not
gentlemen,
Egyptian.
watch when we start the show. Watch they go against the experts and the geneticists. Watch how they do it. They always do it. They find themselves comfortable and they always go against the experts. I don't know why they do it, but they do.
Why you figure we would go against the experts, yo?
Because obviously, watch y'all do it. Your first joke went against the experts. The misuse of it.
What was the joke?
The joke was that now all of a sudden I've never used DNA to tell of a race or to tell of I've never done that.
Race. See, you fuck it up on purpose.
No, or a population. Hold on, or a population in Africa. Y'all and when y'all come to the African population, y'all start getting real weird and shit. So I'm gonna show you how weird y'all is with that.
Why you want to make this murky, yo?
I'm not making it murky.
I don't get it.
Making it murky.
Yeah, why you want to make it murky, yo?
Hold on, whoa. I'm making it. You sure I'm making it murky?
Yes. So you
say what you guys say. I'm gonna let you get it out for the show starts.
So you want to literally confuse people and have them in a gray area where they could feel like they can usurp other people out of their culture, right? You know what African Americans and what we've been taught to believe about Africa and Egypt and shit like that. So now you're gonna pump something that can leave people in a gray area where they could think that they are somehow connected to the ancient Egyptians. Because that's all that's gonna happen. Whatever you're going to do is going to lead to people to be able to stay in their pseudoisms. That's the only thing you could do with that.
Said Cheffinel, the guy who has no sources.
Man,
the guy who
source shit.
That ain't what I'm thinking.
You ain't do that.
That ain't what in my mind. What I'm about to play is going to counsel everybody who misuses DNA. That's what I'm thinking I'm doing. But I know, of course, you like to curve it and make it seem like I'm doing something else. I'm a solution.
Why you ain't do all that when it came to the Moors then?
What? The Moors?
Yeah, when y'all was beefing with the Moors and how y'all ran the DNA shit on that. Then when Dane Calloway and them, y'all ran the DNA shit on that to show that these people wasn't these people. But now, when it comes
to y'all though, brother,
you was in those debates.
I actually got a video. Don't make me bring that up.
Bring your video up, then, bro. Bring your video up. This Sunday night at the movies.
Yeah, I got the video, bro. Don't make me. Okay, so for the record, I'm going to bring my video up and say what I said. Because I've always said that West Africans was called Moors. I've always said that when they went to Spain. And I used the work by, damn it, Stanley Poole.
Lane Poole.
Stanley Poole. And then, what's my man? Damn it. Y'all know who I'm talking about. When We Rule. What's his name?
The history guy, bald head, from England.
Yeah, right.
Walter. Rodney Williams. Shit.
Yeah, something Williams, something.
Yeah.
Damn.
Rodney
in
Williams.
the chat. Yeah, I've always used that. Yeah, so so I know I ain't never did it that way. I don't know. So I know I got my shit on tape. Cause I know a person like you would come behind and act like I said some shit I didn't say. Nope, I've been figured that out. Yeah. I've been figured that out. Now I might misuse some terms, but I ain't never played the DNA race shit. Nope.
But why you keep saying race?
Or the DNA. So watch this. So the point is, if you come all the way over to quote unquote America, let me start it off, man. Black African power was good, was happening. A well-organized lie.
Robin Walker, that's his name.
Organized truth anytime. Woo-hoo-wee, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's the Pseudo Killas on deck, man. Sunday night at the movies. Sosa, what's up, man? What it do?
I was getting my video clips ready. Yeah, man. Shit, let's ready to get it popping, man. You know, we do throw out old knowledge, man, insert that new knowledge, man. You feel me? Pseudo Killas on deck.
Pseudo Killas on deck. Vance, what's good, man? What it do?
What's good? I'm making my quarterly appearance, and I feel the Egyptian gravity pulling real hard right now. I see where y'all going. So peace to everybody. Always good.
Chef NL, what's good? What it do?
Chillin'. I feel that. Let me turn my camera on. That's crazy. I can't even do y'all like that tonight. Hold on. Give me a second. Which camera I want to use?
And happy 4th to everybody.
No, I don't want to use that. Yeah, happy 4th to everybody. Should I use? No, I can't use that one. Man. Oh, let me use this. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, chilling, and I agree with Vance. The gravity of Egypt will take over this show. You know what I mean? As usual. That's the elephant in the room. Unc is gonna fight till he has no bullets left for anything Egypt. So let's get it. Go. Don't bring that pillow in here, man. Go ahead. Get out of here, man. Yo, like,
so
bring this.
Let's play that first. Let's get this first clip rolling in the building. I don't know what they talking about. And you know me, as always, a method to the madness. For me, I feel like if we can actually understand what genetics is and what it's not, and then we'll learn how to properly apply it. It's always been my stance that genes and genetic cannot identify a person's ethnic identity. So the Egyptians have an ethnic group, all right, and self-identified themselves. The Nubians are also an ethnic group that self-identify themselves. And in that context, if you were to take one Egyptian, which you're calling an Egyptian and an ethnic identity, and take a Nubian with their ethnic identity, over lifetime, those two people could actually change their identities, their ethnic identities. Ethnic identity is not etched in stone, okay? It's not that. So like an African American, they do it all the time. They become the Native Americans and they try to live their culture. So you say, okay, bet. But the question would remain, what population did you come from? And that's what Chef and them are going to try to you. They're going to try to play the population game. So an African American, we understand the history of it. So whenever you're dealing with anything, you have to deal with the history of the subject matter. And the history of the subject matter would clearly show you that African Americans migrated to the Americas in the largest migration known to humanity during the transcontinental slave trade. So we won't even play that game. So yes, let me play the first clip and let me clip them up. The ass on the clip. So we can get it. All right. Man, welcome everybody, man, to the podcast to Pseudo Killas at the movies. So we right here. What science tells us about race and racism. All right. And we're not so much going to focus on the racism part, right? We want to focus on the conversation with genes.
That you mentioned in terms of having genetic ancestry testing and what that means and what it actually tells us in a bit. But first, I'm going to turn to you, Aoife, as the resident geneticist, and dealing right now in the present, contemporary genetics, post-human genome. What does the concept of race mean to the average geneticist?
So I think if you talk to just about any geneticists, and if they're talking about race, the first thing they will say at the beginning of their talk is race does not exist. Human race does not exist. So the term race in terms of biology has been used to describe within a population subgroups. They're a bit separate from each other. And what you're talking about genetically in that case is you're saying, well, this group are more like each other than any of them is like the other group. And this group similarly are all quite like each other more than any is like the other group. And this is not at all what we see in human populations. In human populations, what we see is the vast majority of genetic variation is shared worldwide, and you find it everywhere. So about 85 to 90% of the variation that exists is found everywhere. It's not geographically isolated. And we see this is true because we are a very young species, so there hasn't been very much time for differences to accumulate and to become separated. And it's also true because we have always been and we continue to mix a lot. And so all of our genes are shared worldwide. So if you're talking about race from a genetic point of view, in humans, we say it doesn't exist. In other species, you might argue that it does exist. But in humans, we're a very young species. We're constantly mixing. And you don't find divisions. So if you measure genetic variation, you can't find a group that is really so much more similar within the group than they are individuals between groups. So what we typically think of as races, or just even people from different geographic origins, if you pick two Inuits and ask how genetically similar are they, and you find a similar level of genetic difference between two Inuits than you do between an Inuit and German or somebody from India. So you find the same amount of genetic difference, even though there are some outward physical characteristics that we can see which do have geographic patterns, which some of those are for other reasons.
Whereas, if you were to take, on average, any two people from the African continent, they are going to be more genetically different from each other than they are to anyone else
Yes.
on Earth.
Okay, so let's stop right here. Would y'all like to discuss what the geneticists just said? Are we clear? How about you, Sosa? You want to weigh in on that first portion of the clip?
What happened?
Wasn't paying attention. Neither one of y'all Negro pants is paying attention. I get it. But yeah, y'all gonna argue at the end of the show. Y'all gonna argue. Look at you.
Oh, my bad. No, I'm of the opinion where I can't. I'm not smart enough to pull apart this crazy web that you weave. So you can tell these people whatever you want to tell them. Like
talking about what we.
I ain't smart enough. Whatever the fuck you just played, and however you try and spin it to make yourself Egyptian, I don't. So I walked away from that shit. Cause you fighting a crazy fight. Like it's beyond me, yo.
Do not listen to Sharon. Do not listen to him.
We already agreed that DNA can't determine ethnicity. We already made it blurry enough. Everybody's Egyptian. Greeks Egyptian, Persians Egyptians. All you got to do is practice the culture. You're Egyptian, so you kind of already got it. You can't muddy it no more than that. It's already muddy.
No, we was actually talking about what the geneticist was talking about right now. Y'all gotta knock it off, yo. We just watched the clip, right? We tour stage. Would y'all like to discuss what I just played?
No, you got it, bro. Everybody can be Egyptian, yo. Just go sign up, yo. And you got it. You got it, bro. You got it. Whatever. Whatever.
There's no pushback against DNA and ethnicity. Like,
look at them. Y'all see I sprayed some Raid. They all running in their corners. Vance, would you like to talk about a little bit about the clip we just played, what the lady was talking about, basically?
I ain't got no dog in the fight. I don't have no disagreement. I'm not the, I ain't the maniac. I'm the rational one on all the sides. Y'all are mad. It don't matter what y'all play, what y'all say. We'll play the same shit tomorrow. It had the same conversation. Yep. So I already know what time it is.
Okay.
I agree with the lady.
You agree with the lady. All right. So basically what she was saying was that human beings have not even been away from each other long enough to even have these what you would consider a racial differences like that. We always made it back with each other. Now you might find other species of animals that have been away from each other for a long time, right? To the point where they developed enough adaptations where they literally can't even mix back with each other. So she's basically saying that all these differences that we seem to make and appear are actually skin deep. That's not even there. It's a figment of our goddamn imagination, basically. And I think we need to really understand that. And as I'm not even tying that in at this point to the Egyptians, but be noted now, right, that they mix back and forth. And I would like to mention that there are certain geographies that will lend itself to gene flow. Okay, so whatever genes you thought you didn't have, you got them. So let's move forward on that. Chef, you funny as hell, though, right? Y'all crazy as I don't know why. Yo walked away. Yo, tell these people. Show wouldn't be the show, yo, without us, man. I swear to goodness, yo. That's funny as hell, yo. I ain't gonna lie. All right, so let's go on to the next segment. Okay. Let's see what she got to say. All right. A lot of people are gonna disagree with this part. Watch this.
Well, how do we measure that? What does that actually mean? I mean, that's one of those oft-quoted things, but what are we actually talking about when we say genetic similarities or genetic variation between people?
So, well, we have the technology nowadays to sequence the entire DNA. So it's, and it is, we do talk about it as a sequence of letters. And it is as simple as just the number of letters that are different between individuals. And then there are geographic patterns within that. And the reason we see the most of the richest genetic diversity in humans exists in Africa because our species originated in Africa. So if I was to revise my self-introduction more correctly, I should say I'm an African and all my ancestors are Africans and we're all Africans.
Apart from the Neanderthals, who are very European.
Well, the Neanderthals are a little bit more European, but everybody has a bit of Neanderthal. But they came from Africa too, just a little earlier.
Right. Kenan, what about, so, in terms of the genetics, that is...
So that kind of disrupts the conversation that the Native American the Hebrews have. They all seem to think that they have this different origin, and they deny evolution, but yet they use genes. So I want to support that with her statement that she's basically saying that if you're walking upright, fundamentally speaking, you're African and all your ancestors are Africans, right? And that's a generalized statement, but the statement shows the complexity of Homo sapiens sapien in its genes and its variation in its genes. But there is no separate origin for the Native American population, the European population, and surely the Hebrew population. And my point is, we have Hebrew brothers now using haplogroups and genes, but yet deny evolution. Shout out to JJ1000. His channel is famous for that. It's amazing how they do that. So we understand the conversation is nuanced and highly intelligent over here with that statement. So she want to add something to that little piece right there? Just heard?
No, that ain't my gripe right there. I'm gonna let you go ahead and smear that up. We're gonna deal with Nubia, Egyptian culture. And we're gonna see where the similarities lie and where they're different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I watched a piece of the video you had, yo. She about 2 years behind on her game too, just for the record, yo. I seen her. I had her in queue. I like her though. She 2 years behind. She not bad.
We gonna go over. Let's see.
We get into it. Yeah, we get into it. Where the hell is Brendan at? Brendan probably at the cookout. You want to add something to that, Chef? What you think, that lady? What you think about what she just said? You want to add something to that?
No, I have no problem. She was talking about Neanderthals and that all humans are essentially African and the most diversity comes from Africa. Look, I have no problem with what she said. But it's crazy. Ngozi said, all Homo sapiens are the same. We are not even subspecies.
Right.
But the people in North Africa have their own traits and mutations that's absent in sub-Saharan West populations. I think that's where we at with it.
Yeah, facts. All right, so I think that's a let me move on to the next clip here. Let's see where we at. I'm at the timestamp. I want to get the timestamp, keep it rolling through. Then they want to get into the Egyptian mania argument. I don't want to get into the Armenia. Where we at? This is at timestamp. Let me see.
What's the movies about? What we dealing with? I thought we were dealing with.
No, we're gonna deal with these clips. Even when you play your clips, we're gonna deal with it. That's what we doing.
Oh.
Yeah. Everybody got their chance to bring their clips.
Oh, just freelancing. I thought we was being a little more
direct.
No, no. It worked. It's gonna work well because you're gonna bring up quote. Just watch how I go. Mm-hmm. You can't separate you can't. But I'm saying, I was accused of bringing mania. I'm not bringing the mania in the first half. No, I'm surely not. Okay, so I'm at. Okay, let me move the clip up a little bit. Move up a little bit. All right. Move up just slightly a little bit here. Let me see. Oh, man. I'm going to 11-minute mark.
What Aoife's just said there is non-controversial. When we look at human variation at a genetic level, we see no essential characteristics that isolate with one particular group over another. And yet, everyone kind of knows what race is. Most people agree that race exists. Racism is a real thing. We see physical differences. Incredibly diverse audience, by the way. I've done many of these at the Royal Institution over the years, but I don't think I've ever seen so many non-white faces. So well done, you lot. Including on stage, actually.
Maybe it's got something to do with the topic.
I think it's random variation. People know, there are physical differences between people. There are very obvious physical differences between people, and most people many people are willing to make statements which allow them to geographically isolate one group over another. So how does that relate to what Aoife's just said in terms of genetic diversity being relatively insignificant?
It's a very complicated question, but let me deal with one aspect of it. One of the reasons I think that science finds it so difficult to get a handle on race is because we're very peculiar as human beings. There are no such thing as natural human groups. Things like migration, intermarriage, war, conquest, forced assimilation, voluntary segregation, all that political and social rules, customs, such as the one-drop rule in America, which deems that if you've got one black ancestor, you are black, or you're socially regarded as black, and so on. All those things mean that all the categories into which we put people are social categories.
So, great point right here. And social is going to kind of get into that. But I think what's important is that these categories we have, right, are very social. So as we argue the Egyptian argument, we're really talking about the social things that's really going on and really what's happening. We talked about the one-drop rule in America, right, or the paper bag rule and all that old nonsense, right? It really had no merit in evolution, right? And it really had no merit in genes and genetics. It was a social thing that we came up with, right? That's a great point he made. Talked about the different categories of social things and how complex humans are. We're so goddamn complex that even when they started to dig and find certain finds, right, they applied their social categories to people who wouldn't even understand what the hell they was talking about. And we continue to do that to this day. And that has always been my argument, even to the point where people who aren't even nowhere near close to those geographical regions will culturally make themselves that. They will identify that as being their place of origin. And like on this show, we've discussed it, but why? Because people perceive Egypt as being the greatest thing on since sliced bread. When Chef I know Pseudo Killas know that you got a superpower that they call karma or Nubia that rivaled Egypt, and we never talk about that. So we're gonna start the transition out of the whole Egyptian shit, because that shit is really non-void. Null and void, because you got a superpower that the Europeans ignored on purpose, right? And me and Sheffers, we point back and forth, argued, but they argue. The Europeans were so wild, right, that they made the Nubians Egyptians. That was really the racism, wasn't it, Jeff? That they actually made the Nubians Egyptians because of similarities in culture. And I believe Sosa gonna bring that up, right? That they made them the slaves of the goddamn Egyptians because of the way they was dressed, because of their misunderstanding of the cultural nuances and entanglement. Am I wrong with that, Chef, or am I on point? Talk to me, bro.
Yeah, I think you on point. I think you on point with that.
Yeah, so, right. So yeah, the conversation got to get into Nubia one day, because that's the real shit right
Smash
there.
do a good job with Nubia already, though.
Great job with Nubia. Great job. So, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said, but even in the lecture though, they talk about colonization, and they're very clear about Egypt's colonization of Nubia. They do talk about the rivals and so forth and so on, but they were colonized by Egyptians, and they talk about because of that colonization they would also bring certain artifacts. So yeah, they would confuse certain things with being Egyptian, because certain things that they borrowed from Egypt and they put their Nubia, but it was a Nubian twist on it. So they might have just considered that purely Egyptian because of the borrowing. You know what I mean? But so that's the distinction. It's Nubia with an Egyptian, it's Egyptian with a Nubian twist on certain things. So I got a video that's going to talk about how they took the building structure, they borrowed from Egypt, and then they put the Nubian twist on it. So that's pretty clear.
They was Egyptianized. That most of the things that I read, it was certain periods of time where Egypt went down there and purposely Egyptianized the Nubians. So that's where the Nubians got their writing from. That's where they got a lot of their architecture and things from. Religious, the major facets of their religious practice, came from the Egyptians Egyptianizing them on purpose too. It was a part of conquest.
Right, and they also talk about rejection, because like even they would talk about how certain things they accepted, and then certain things they rejected, like the pottery. Even though they knew about Egyptian pottery, they still rejected that and kept the Nubian style pottery. So that shows you that the culture was very distinct, and they borrowed some and they rejected some because the culture was different. Even though there was some borrowing and some assimilation, they still recognized that their culture was different.
All right, let me keep going to the video. I don't know why you shot all your bullets out.
No, I got the video.
All right, okay.
Reggie said Egypt got his writing from Nubians. Reggie, you gotta stop, bro.
Yeah, we ain't even get to that yet. We ain't gonna do
that. Submit that, Reggie, to the journal and
the journal.
Yeah, so yes.
Submit that shit.
Submit that shit, bro. Like that.
Hey man, don't clump me. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, don't clump me, man. See, let me stop. Let me get this straight, man. Let's clear this up, man. Y'all gonna stop clumping me. See, I personally, me. See, Chef always say I let people get away with this. It's not that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's enough firepower in here for y'all to dive through the window and all that shit like that, right? But for me, I study hard because I know I'm not an expert, and I familiarize myself with experts in the work. I just do. And so for me, I learned, I'm gonna give you two examples. I learned that farming ain't the hottest thing since motherfucking buttered bread or some shit like that. Most people will put farming right here, right? That farming is the only boom, right? I could look at farming as represents failure. because we got groups that actually grew without farming, right? But they nurtured seeds, certain grains, right? Cultivated seeds and grains, right? And the shit grew naturally. All I had to do was cultivate it. Okay. So, like Nubians, for instance, man, they had sickles and they chopped down the grains and they did fine. It was good. And they had cattle. Then you got the Egyptians, they focused on farming, right? But we was always trying to fight for farming when the reality is each group of humans, based off their diversity, based off the ecosystem, developed systems for survivability, right? Farming was great, but farming brought certain things into human societies, okay? More food production, larger populations, more close proximity, more infectious disease, more viruses, more transmission. Okay, those Nubian groups, they were semi-nomadic, they could move, freedom of movement, kept them out of those types of situations completely. So we could go back and forth and think that, but for me, the way I think that. Now, as for writing, how did the Nubians maintain so long without writing? Obviously, it wasn't essential to their world. They managed through it. There are plenty of people amongst us right now that can't read or write. Okay, so that's not the standard of living in survivability on planet Earth. Obviously not in that world. Now it becomes the great standard. Once you start writing, then you're not writing, then you're at odds, right? So before the advent of writing, right, civilizations and cultures were fine. They had different symbolisms and things of that nature, right? So I don't need Nubia to invent writing. I don't need the Africans to be the first farmers. I used to have that mindset. We got it when we got it, and we did it when we did it. So I think we need to get out that mindset, and it's that mindset that would make you latch on to Egypt like that, because you think they something special. When the reality is, man, they Homo sapiens sapiens figuring out a way in their ecological niches. So let me move. Right. All right. So yeah, don't clump me. Don't clump me. I'm not the clump guy.
But at the same time, social categories, how the way we put people into categories, whether it's by nation, by ethnicity, by faith, by whatever, by culture, they're not entirely arbitrary. People do self-segregate to a certain extent within certain groups, and therefore social groups can have certain biological consequences. And it's the difficulty in understanding the relationship between those two, I think, which makes it difficult to think about race. Race doesn't exist, and yet there are differences between human populations. And the difficulty is that because we think in terms of race, where differences are important, we often don't connect with the right differences. Take something like sickle cell anemia. Now, everybody knows that sickle cell anemia disorder is a disorder of black people, listeners. Sickle cell anemia is a disorder of those who've grown up in areas whose ancestors come from an area where malaria was prevalent. West Africa is one of those areas. So is the Mediterranean basin. So is parts of Turkey and the Saudi Peninsula. So are parts of India. But because socially we imagine black, and we think of black largely through the process of slavery and so on. We imagine that black to do with West Africans or their descendants, because most of black people in America and in Britain have come from there. So we imagine that sickle cell is a black disorder, and that's to do with our social imagination, nothing to do with biology. And it raises a major problem, because if we think of sickle cell as a black disorder, it means there are large groups, for example, in Britain, who may suffer from sickle cell, for example, Cyprians, Indians, who are ignored because it is seen as a black disorder. So what I'm trying to say is that the categories into which we put people socially are not actually particularly useful when we want to talk about genetic differences between groups. And the problem we always make, I think, is that we always think about that there are kind of essential differences between groups. The point is there are lots of differences that cut across human societies in lots of ways. And when we talk about differences, the important question to ask is, what do we want? What question are we asking, and in what context? And depending on the question we're asking, depending on the context we want, the kinds of groups that are important to us, the kind of differences that are important to us, actually keeps changing. And that, I think, is what we forget when we talk about human differences, that these kinds of differences are contextual. They depend upon the questions we're asking, the context in which we're asking them. Unfortunately, we don't group people into the category their ancestors came from areas which were malaria prevalent. If so, then we could deal with questions of the issue of sickle cell very easily. But because our social categories are not of that form, then it becomes much more difficult to deal with these kinds of issues. But it seems to me that the really important thing to remember is that when we're talking about human differences, we have to ask, what question are we asking, and in what context are we asking that? And then we can work out which differences are significant and which are not. So
That's a good one right there. We've all heard it in the community. People try to play the sickle cell game. Now we find out that there's different regions where you have sickle cell. And the fact that we tried to identify one population with sickle cell, Black people from West Africa, it's really leaving out other people that really need medical help, because they too have a population area where sickle cell is prevalent. We was always told that it was just the way it was the Black thing, and we didn't know. And we thought this because we wasn't the experts. But when you ask the experts, the picture starts to change. And what we thought we were saying was right, it really ain't. We've all heard it in the conscious community. So I just wanted to make sure that we dispel that myth right there, because it is a myth. And I think later on in the video, we might not even get to it. It also talked about it was a disease actually named after the Jewish people. Right? It just was wrong, and they thought that strictly was that, but it ended up not even being that. So you know, when you read a lot of these genetic papers, they're really trying to figure out how to make the even some of the articles we bring about North Africa, stuff like that. You'll find out in when they finishing off in the conversation, putting the conclusion, they're really doing it to try to figure out like how can we medically determine certain diseases and what genes are more prevalent for certain diseases and stuff like that. And that's what they're really concerned about. We'll take that same article and make an Egyptian this or make a person that, and it's just funny. So we just need to brush up and fix some of that. Where you at, Chef? You have anything to say about that whole sickle cell thing? Because I know that's a piece that was really prevalent in the community about the sickle cell. We sickle celled ourselves to death.
No, that's fire. That's fire. Definitely, it's good for people to hear the context of it. That is not, something that's strictly that affects people of West African descent, but is populations, spread around the world who have the sickle cell trait. And for me, the first time I heard it, I think it was weaponized, right? The first time I heard it was in the early 2000s. And I think it was weaponized to make us feel like we came from areas that was underdeveloped. So if you come from areas that's underdeveloped, you know, and famine, you know, you don't is it something about, hold on, is it sickle cell? No, I'm thinking about lactose intolerant. You're right. Go ahead. I'm all off. Go ahead.
How about you, Social? Would I add something on that?
And from drinking dirty water. Yeah, I'm right. You know, from drinking polluted water.
Okay.
I think you know, by, you know, being around unhealthy bodies of water that sit still, I think mosquitoes and stuff, you know, you have a real high chance of getting infected by a mosquito. Ain't that's where malaria come from?
Yeah. But that's absolutely. And I got a whole science magazine. They did a whole article talking about. It's funny because they got these drugs to help fight sickle cell. To help fight malaria, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when you go to Africa, you gotta take the pills. I forget what it's called.
Damn,
right?
I didn't mix three things. I didn't mix malaria with sickles. Sickle cell comes from
The response to the malaria.
Oh, okay, so I'm right. I'm on track. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, damn, you had me thinking I was fucking.
Yeah, I fucked all that up. I'm playing the video game, yo.
You didn't, but they got like a brand of mosquitoes coming from Asia and kind of rendered the drugs. Now they wouldn't go ahead, Sosa.
No. I mean, the video speaks volumes. Ain't nothing to add to it.
Okay. How about you, Vance? We'll catch you before you die out. You can't die out, Vance. You ain't got to work tomorrow. You got to add something to it.
Oh, I definitely got to work tomorrow, but
oh, damn.
Shit, that's good information. Yeah, the hustle never ends. The marathon never ends. Or whether the marathon continues, as you said. But no, this is new information for me. You might have called me lying saying that it was a black disease yesterday, but tomorrow you won't.
Yeah. When we get new information, yo, we want to always make an adjustment in our thinking, and I think that's important. And the community actually suffer from that, and they mad when we on air and we fighting and we change our fucking opinion, yo. People get mad, yo, and they hate. And they try to separate and they try to divide, right? Because we're using an approach to thinking, using science, right? To help formulate our thinking, the way we see things, you know, never being thoroughly entrenched on the subject matter, being able to change. So what I was thinking yesterday, I might not be thinking today based off of the data changing. But I don't think the data will ever change, but I'm gonna leave some room for it. For African Americans being Egyptians. I don't think that'll ever change, but I'm gonna leave an open case for it, right? I'm gonna leave a case for it. Yeah, I'm definitely am. Certainly will. Okay, let's where we at with the time?
Yeah, because Reggie already want the link to come beat us up.
Yeah, Reggie don't gotta dive in until we get to the Sosa part with the Egyptian mania part. Then we're gonna let Reggie make the Nubians the right watch. We know it. It's coming. I'm gonna do all that. Okay, so let me keep going. All right. Next clip. Where we at? Get here. We at the all right. We get here. Gets good. So this is probably my favorite clip in the daggone thing to me.
Or races. And I remember at school, and it was 60s, 50s, 60s, map on the world on the wall, and it was divided up not only into empire but also different. There was pink, I think I remember, was Mongoloid, and then there was Caucasoid, and then Oriental, and they were all different colors on the map. And that was the world that I grew up in. Do any of you recognize that world? And that was the natural order of things.
And then we gave that natural order different values. So, for example, we would say, when we look at the race science of that era, they measured skulls, different size skulls meant different levels of intelligence. And of course, there was a hierarchy in which the white male was at the top, and, right down to people who were black, people of color, who were seen closer to apes. So it was this evolutionary notion of difference. And I would argue very much that that has stuck. And even though that's 200 years ago, we still see those patterns today because we were drawn to this idea of natural difference. It was a classificatory system that seemed to explain the order of the world. And that's what we were doing in the Enlightenment time. We were looking at this order.
Although I feel
science and rationality was
the
underpinning part of this.
Classification in biology is incredibly important. It's also something which hamstrings much of biology, but that's a slightly different conversation. But it's worth pointing out, though, that Darwin was pretty explicitly opposed to what you've just described, and was a non-essentialist in terms of, as the father, as the person who described evolution accurately for the first time. He was adamant that there were no essential characteristics in any one group of people, which were referred to as races, but that's not in the same way that we use the term these days, that wasn't fluid. There wasn't a characteristic that would pass through time and would be transferable from one group of people to the other. Kevin, I think you were going to say something.
Interestingly, you don't have to go to Darwin. Blumenbach, from whom we derive the 5 categories of races. He, in fact, made much the same point. He made the point that these are categories that are necessary if we want to divide human beings. But actually, human beings don't naturally fit into those categories. There is a continuation between those categories. So it's important, in a sense. It's not simply the categorization of human beings that's a problem. The categorization of human beings and of the natural world, from the late 17th century, I suppose, Linnaeus and so on, moved at pace. But racial science was a product of the mid-19th century. It wasn't a product of the 18th century. It wasn't a product of the early scientific revolution. It wasn't a product of the period in which they categorized humans. It wasn't a product of the Enlightenment as such. Racial science actually develops much later. And so, the interesting question is, why is it that racial science doesn't develop with categorization as such, but develops much later? And I think that's an interesting question. Other interesting issue is this, that if you look at how, say, 19th century scientists, intellectuals categorized humans, it's very different from the way we think about it now. They think primarily they weren't using categories of skin color. The main difference for them was actually of class and of social differences. So 19th century thinkers would look on the working class and the rural poor as racially distinct. Now, they saw them as distinct as people today would see whites and blacks as racially distinct. But for them, it was as obvious as that. And so
this is a lot to do with the work of one particular man, who we ought to name, Darwin's cousin, Francis Galton. He was relatively obsessed with social hierarchy as well as racial definitions. And again, it's worth pointing out that we use the word race in the 19th century not in accordance with the way we think of it now, but as a sort of subspecies. So Darwin talks about race, type, ecotype. We sometimes use that word in genetics now, but the subtitle to The Origin of Species contains this phrase, the struggle for races. And he's talking mostly not about humans. In fact, he's not talking about humans at all. He's talking about cabbages. He's talking about subtypes of cabbages. So we have to be careful about the language. It's very important that we talk specifically about, when we say race in the 19th century, we're not talking about the way we use the term today, right? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, so Galton, I interrupted you. You were about to start.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I mean, Milton's important. I'm not sure it's that. I know you're writing a book. Role, but if we,
which is out in September.
But if we ignore that,
and I went to the Galton laboratory.
If you read English newspapers, for instance, from well before Galton, what you'll find descriptions of the Bethnal Green Poor, where they're described as of a race of whom we know nothing, a race of whom we are entirely different, a race whose differences with us are akin, and this is a quote, are similar to the difference between whites and slaves. So it's difficult in a way to get a handle on it. We look on race in a very different way. We look on human differences in a very different way. But in the 19th century, the way that humans were categorized and the way that racial categories existed was very different from the way they are today. And it arose out of social distinctions as much as distinctions of skin color, which plays an important part today.
Let's just talk about skin color and those categorizations for a minute, because Heidi introduced a very important historical, the classical way of dividing the races of the earth into 5 categories, which were Caucasoid, Mongoloid, Aboriginal, Australian, Amerindian, and Negroid. Thank you. And interestingly, forensic medicine still uses those definitions, even though almost all other branches of science don't. Now, Aoife, I want you to mention the first major study of the genetics of human variation, Rosenberg in 2004, because it does something quite interesting in relation to Heidi's, the classification that Heidi mentioned.
Okay, so I just like to say it's interesting in terms of what you were saying, Kenan, that when these 19th century guys said the difference between them and the working class was as great as the difference between them and black people, they were correct, but it's not in the way they thought. There's no difference. But in any case, so this work that Adam's asked me to talk about, so it's from, I think, 2002. And so this, in the last just over 10 years, we've had a big revolution in genetics enabled by technology. And so we've been able to sequence genomes, so the total DNA.
Okay, so right here, go ahead. You trying to say something, Chef?
You good.
So yeah, okay. So you heard, they talked about Galton a little bit. Galton was Charles Darwin's second cousin, and that's the one that introduced eugenics. And people who try to play the whole thing about abortion and eugenics, this is where they fuck it all up. Because actually, Charles Darwin did not agree with his cousin. Dalton actually got misrepresented and misunderstood Charles Darwin's work. It's the most craziest thing ever. All right, he messed that up. So she kind of had a basic conversation about that. The next clip I want to play is now this is going to fit. It's going to transition into where Sosa is, and then we'll drop the link, get a link to Brother Reggie. He should be studied up by now and get himself together. But this is important because they start to talk about when they start to use genes and try to categorize it. And so we've been having shows and we say, well, the Egyptians have these genes and the Nubians have these genes and the Middle Easterns have these genes and the people in Europe have these genes. And I think we jumble it all up. So I wanted the geneticist kind of explain that, and she's gonna get right to that point. She's gonna talk about how they actually did that and what they really should do. So pay close attention to this, and this will end my segment. And we need to kind of discuss this. Now watch this.
DNA of people, and what there's been this big scientific effort to try and sample human diversity. So there's this project where they got volunteers who gave a DNA sample, and this was about 1,000 people or so thereabouts from all over the world, so lots of different geographic localities. And what they did was they used the best technology at the time to sequence these bits of DNA and to measure the differences. And so you look at, for each individual, you've got the little set of letters they have that are variable somewhere in somebody. So it turns out about 1 every 1,000 letters is different somewhere in somebody. And when they did this, then they applied this statistical clustering technique. So it's a mathematical technique we don't need to get into the details of. But basically what it does is, if you say divide these data into 2 groups, it'll divide them into the best 2 groups it can. If you say divide it into 3 groups, it'll find the best division forced into 3. And if you say 4, and if you say 5. So when you say divide it into 2 groups, it comes out basically Africa and everywhere else, roughly. And then when you say 3 groups.
So we'll stop there. The lady said, when you divide it into 2 groups, right? Remember what the test was. They got everybody together. They took DNA tests, right? Boom. They did the program, did all that. And so she said when they divided it into 2 groups, there was the African population and then everybody else. Listen to what this lady just said. She didn't say 150,000 years ago. She ain't say none of that. She said the modern program, when they did that, it separated them into 2 groups. When they put it into 2 groups, right, it went Africa and everybody else. I want to make sure I heard that right. I thought I did. Let's see. And I'm not overemphasizing. I'm actually telling you what she said. Now, y'all can fight with her on that.
Technique. So it's a mathematical technique we don't need to get into the details of. But basically what it does is, if you say divide these data into 2 groups, it'll divide them into the best 2 groups it can. If you say divide it into 3 groups, it'll find the best division forced into 3. And if you say 4, and if you say 5. So when you say divide it into 2 groups, it comes out basically Africa and everywhere else, roughly. And then when you say 3 groups, I think was the next one that popped out was European.
No,
Am I get that wrong?
Eastern Asian.
Okay, yes. But then with the interesting thing, I think the point that Adam wants me to get to, this will happen a lot, is that when you insist on 5 groups, the groupings come out roughly along those lines of African, Amerindian, Caucasian. So Caucasians, Europeans, then the Southeast
Eurasian,
Asian.
Eastern Asian.
Yeah.
Aboriginal.
So it comes out approximately the way those awful maps were. And so depending on how you want to read this, you can have your racism reinforced, and people choose to do that. But then the thing is, if you decide to make 6 groupings, if you say, well, what are the most natural biological groupings, then suddenly this group in the northeast of India pops out. It's just specialized on its own, and that nobody had ever, there's a few things going on here. So I suppose as a geneticist, I suffer a bit in terms of genetics has a horrible history in this. So at certain points in time, genetics was used to try and justify racism. And so people try to say, if there are genetic differences, then anything I claim, any horrible view I hold is somehow scientifically justified. And this is, people have been trying to use genetics. So the first thing we see is that, and what I said at the beginning is still true, about 85 to 90% of genetic variation is shared worldwide. So when you find these patterns, what you're finding is of the bits that aren't shared, so you're kind of saying, if you really insist and you take the bits that aren't shared, well then do they have patterns? And yes, they do. And then you also have some things are just a bit more common one place than the other. But one thing about race then, and the idea of race, so I am a scientist, and I hope that I'm led by the data. I'm still a human being, so I can't claim that I never make mistakes. But but in terms of race, I'm convinced that I'm led by the data when I say there's no such thing as race in human populations. But if there were, I would accept that, but I would never accept that as any kind of justification for any kind of prejudice. So in terms of, we have another kind of biological difference that we see in human populations, which is just slightly more than 50% of the population are female and the rest are male. And this is a very big biological distinction. You can find biological traits that are very, very different between these two groups, and that is no way just, there's plenty of them, Madam, you'll think of one. But this in no way justifies any kind of prejudice. So race doesn't exist biologically and genetically, but if it did, still wouldn't be.
All right. So I just want to close out right there. And that test that they was talking about was a very interesting test. So 2 categories, 3 categories, 5 categories. And no matter how you would put it, people in Africa would cluster together, whether that's North Africa, East Africa, West Africa. The lady was talking about Africa. I'll put a period right there. And I'm not arguing past that. I'm done. Anybody want to add something to that? You, Sosa? Chef? You can get that link.
Basically, though, what she was saying is that, because humans started off in Africa, you find the most diversity there. Okay. So if you put the groups to 2 groups, because Africa is so diverse, and the restraints are so strict on the other groups, you're not going to be able to extrapolate them, because Africa got all the diversity, so they're going to put that in one group, and then the other people got a little bit of that with Africa, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be, so that's why you put it in. So the more groups you add to it, the more data you can actually extrapolate, because now the restraints ain't as strict. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep. Gotcha. You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. So then the elephant in the room, so then where would that put the Egyptians? I think y'all agree.
Well, the Egyptians ain't gonna carry all the diversity that's in Africa. They're gonna have if you'd have done 5, you're gonna get what you get. Well, what if you do 30? Then you open up the restraints more. It's gonna start extrapolating more and more and pulling up population. That's why she said when she did 3, it did this, but when she did 5, it pulled India out. So what happens if you did 9? It's gonna pull this place out, because now the restrictions ain't so harsh on separation. So the Egyptians still gonna have a particular variety than maybe somebody in South Africa, at least over a certain period of time. You would think, right? It has to be.
Oh no,
they're gonna mix with populations that people in South Africa just ain't gonna be able to mingle with for thousands of years. I mean, look where they are, and look what, you know what I mean? So you got the Sahara Desert, so they're gonna be able to intertwine with populations that different regions ain't gonna be able to coalesce with.
So you want to do 500 until you get the Egyptians out of Africa?
No, I ain't trying to take them out of Africa. We're talking about just being
Jesus Christ.
Not taking them out of Africa. We're talking about just establishing distinctions.
Jesus Christ. All right. Okay. Well, there we have it. Let me get that link.
Hold on. We get a Nubia or not?
Yeah, we can already do that. No, I'm saying that's what we doing now. I just wanted to get a link. Reggie wanted to dive in on that conversation. He gonna have to respond to what the clip is. I want him to go ahead and get that. You know what I mean?
Reggie got no response to that clip. He talking, you gonna go back to writing.
Nah, he got to come on, yo. We ain't doing that. He gotta make it make sense, yo. We making it make sense. Yeah, we're gonna make it make sense. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing some brand new fringe out of nowhere. Just he gotta make it make sense, bro.
Yes, yeah, so I want to start out. So our conversation, we started off right. So, we had a lot of the African American scholars and people like Dr. Banner, even Reggie might reiterate it, saying that Nubia, and they even used to say that, Nubia is the mother of Egypt. You still hold that view?
Yeah, I still hold that view.
In what way was Nubia the mother of Egypt? If you also argue that Nubia and Egypt were contemporaries and rivals.
Yep, I hold that view because they come out of the Green Sahara together in the first attestation of which you would perceive to be Egyptian cultures. You see it in Nubia first. That's all. You just see that. You see the crown, the procession. That's the governmental royal system. You see that in Nubia first, amongst which you would classify that culture as being that southern population of Nubia. That's why I would say that.
But they had other distinctions though, other than just that.
Of course, yeah. I'm just telling you why I gave you my reasons. I think the crown, the ruler, the royalty, the procession, and all that's what I would say. That's my personal opinion, though, Sosa. That's not a scholarly. That's my personal opinion. I want to make that distinction. It's my personal opinion, bro.
Right, because I mean, you would say that. Unless you elevate that over other forms of culture, right? In terms of farming, they didn't get that from Nubia. You know what I'm saying? And they had a different. I mean, they had a different overall structure. So you can say the kingship, but you can't say. I think it's crazy to argue that one to say that you can't say that one is the mother, and then say that they were contemporaries and rivals. That wouldn't make no sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. I got, man, just my opinion. I mean, shit. We done heard people's opinions not make no goddamn sense. It's my opinion. It's not a factual. It's not a scientific. But I do stand. I stand firm that the Nubian, Libyan, and Egyptian populations, they share a similar culture coming out of the Green Sahara. Very similar.
Yeah, I got no issue with that.
Yeah. All right, so go ahead. I already gave out the link. Reggie, you should be having that link, bro.
Let me see. Well, can you see my screen? Make sure you can't see my pokers.
Let me see.
Can you hear it?
Yep. You have a play.
Not an African civilization. In fact,
can you hear that?
Yeah. Oh, that's my man, Stuart. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm firmly convinced it is, but it's often treated as if it isn't, and one still sees these sort of titles. So I think you have to look at Nubia and Egypt as two African civilizations in interaction. And so there were, to be fair, some Egyptologists pointing out things like these massive tumuli, the practice of retainer sacrifice and so on, are all practices that are very different from Egypt. Also, all different aspects of material culture, burial practice. I'll have some examples in just a second. Are very, very different from ancient Egypt. So Reiser's idea that it was a colony, there was some pushback against it, but by and large, people had accepted it. But instead, what we should see is the display of items like the statuary actually looted from Egypt reflects a kind of projection of esoteric knowledge and power by these Kushite rulers. So you have this, this civilization to the north, and by bringing in and deploying statues, other aspects of material culture, they're showing their knowledge of distant lands and power and authority by showing how they can control the other. And this, of course, is the same thing that motivated Egyptians to depict Nubians in the ways they did, and so forth. Now, since the work of Charles Bonnet at Kerma, we know that Kerma was the center of a vibrant civilization, a true urban center, one of the earliest in Africa. And in fact, that Kerma was not just dominated by Egypt, but in fact was Egypt's rival in Northeast Africa. We could see a huge urban center and so on. Now, when we look at architecture like the great urban Defufa, which you see here, it represents this kind of idea of entanglement. So this can involve the adoption of exotic practices or foreign practices, but more often the adaptation of those practices, imagery, and so on, material culture, but also indifference and rejection. And typically it's a blending of these different elements, and it's a process of mutual influence rather than simply assimilation driven from Egypt into Nubia, as again, anthropologists have often argued. And you can see this in Kerma, the mud brick architectural technology of building a massive structure like this was clearly borrowed from Egypt, but the monument itself is a uniquely Nubian thing.
Yeah, that's that fight. Go ahead. What'd you get out of that? No, so go ahead.
Right. So it speaks to So I can see. Yeah, but it speaks to the fact that see how he was talking about mutual influence.
Yeah, we see it on the screen. We can see it.
Huh?
Yeah, it's right there. That's good. It says adaptation, right? A general entanglement. It says adaptation, adoption, adaptation, indifference, rejection, and then mutual influence rather than assimilation. So it's always been taught the Nubians assimilated into Egypt. That's the game. And then I know that structure right there, that's a big ass structure. And they said that the Egyptians borrowed from them on that building shit for those big massive structures right there. I did hear that.
They did. So you saying that that's not true? Or hey, can you see my poker? Can you see my poker?
That's true. Huh?
Can you see my poker screen? I'm playing poker. I don't want that to come on YouTube.
Yeah, I see your poker screen. Yeah, 9,000. You get damn, you gambling.
All right, look at it. Let's move
Christ,
that away. Let's move that away. I'll get back to it. That's something different. But hey, listen.
They gambling 10,000. Yo, you crazy?
Listen.
Yo.
No, listen. You so you do agree? You see how he said though, right? How the art of the building is clearly Egyptian. So what he's showing though is that
he didn't say that building was Egyptian, nigga.
Yeah. He said this.
No, go back. He didn't say that.
Nope. He said they borrowed the building. Let me go back a little.
Oh, you said the Egyptians borrowed the building from that.
No, Nubians borrowed the Egypt. They Nubianized an Egyptian. They took the building.
Nah, play that again.
Adaptation of those practices, imagery, and so on, material culture, but also indifference and rejection. And typically, it's a blending of these different elements. Here, it represents the 40 elements, and it's a process of mutual influence rather than.
Let it play.
40.
I'm trying to get the way he says the building because that's at the end.
No, man, you went back.
Not that far.
Why you go back, yo? He was gonna get to it. You know, remember?
See, look.
At Kerma, we know that Kerma was the center of a vibrant civilization, a true urban center, one of the earliest in Africa. And in fact, that Kerma was not just dominated by Egypt, but in fact was Egypt's rival in Northeast Africa. We can see a huge urban center and so on. Now, when we look at architecture like the great urban Defufa, which you see here, it represents this kind of idea of entanglement. So this can involve the adoption of different exotic practices or foreign practices, but more often the adaptation of those practices, imagery, and so on, material culture, but also indifference and rejection. And typically, it's a blending of these different elements, and it's a process of mutual influence rather than simply assimilation driven from Egypt into Nubia, as again Egyptologists have often argued. And you can see this at Kerma, the mud brick architectural technology of building a massive structure like this was clearly borrowed from Egypt, but the monument itself is a uniquely Nubian thing. And it's similar.
You see?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Right. So, and in his lecture, he deals with all the facets, right? He deals with adoption in certain parts, and he deals with it's all of those things: adoption, adaptation, indifference, rejection, and mutual assimilation. You see what I'm saying? So
he also talked about the Kerma area and all that being one of the earliest civilizations in Africa. But it's funny as hell, yo, because the motherfucking game film don't lie, do it? Yo, they catch you on it. We don't gotta argue that shit. They clearly said that, and I got that wrong. So that, you know what I'm saying? They said the eye in the sky don't lie. That game film, that movie gonna catch us. I like that. I'm with that. Yeah, that's a good one. Good catch, though. So that's a good one. You just play that shit again. We can't argue that.
Reggie shaking his head no.
Yeah, Reggie, go ahead, Reggie. What you want to say, Reg? Where you at? Because we heard the expert. Add to that. Go ahead, Reg. What you got? You got to unmute yourself. We see Bob in his head.
Think that
turn your mic up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, turn your mic up. We don't want you coming soft spoken. Yo, turn that shit up, man.
Okay. The problem that I see is that you have your periods incorrect.
We talking about this clip right here.
Kerma civilization before you start talking about Kerma civilization, what date are you talking about? What date is Kerma civilization?
Well, we could go back further, but this kind of
Kerma is at least 1,000 years younger than Egypt.
Yeah,
No.
this is kind of centered around the conversation we was having about when Taharka went into
that's fine.
Egypt.
Yeah, that's fine. Kerma civilization is 2100 BC.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Egypt is 3100 BC.
I said 1,000 years.
Right? Egypt is older than Kerma civilization. So what you're looking at is the Defufa and all that other stuff that you see as Jebel Barka. Those were the Defufa was man-made. Jebel Barka.
I mean, all of them were man-made, I hope, unless it's something that's a natural.
Oh, Jebel Barka is a rock formation where they may have did some rock, some changes to the rock, right? They actually did some carvings, right? So 2100 BC is Kerma. The other civilization that they might talk about is Kish, right? So there's a period before this. The period before this is Nakada. Nakada.
Yeah, Reggie, we can go back to that, but I'm kind of this kind of video was leading up to the conversation we was having with Smash. We was talking about we were talking about the 25th dynasty, them going in and practicing Egyptian, culture, right? So we would, So this is centered around that conversation. So just showing that the Egyptian culture they took into Egypt was through colonization.
Okay, well, Sosa, what I'm trying to say, and you can go back to this, is first you have to get your dates right. So Kerma civilization is 2100 BC, right? Egypt is 3100 BC, right. And then you have Nagada civilization, right? And so that's the later period. So the problem.
Yeah, open them eyes up, Reggie. Open them eyes.
Right. The problem that you have, and I don't want y'all to look bad, right? Is that there is another. So Napata civilization is later. So the civilization that you want to talk about, which I heard y'all did a terrible job on, right, is explaining what you call earlier Nubian civilization. So before Egypt, it was Nakada, that's 4000 BC, and Nubian A culture, which was further down south.
That Nubian A culture, is it one group or is it a multitude of groups?
It's because it's called the culture. It's basically we see it from the material culture. Nakada civilization is the civilization that Egypt absorbed. That is next to Abydos, Abdu, right? So the first writing, right, came out of those civilizations. Nubia didn't forget how to write. They didn't forget how to write. Those early civilizations was absorbed by ancient Egypt. I'll stop. I'll let you continue. I just want to say that if you're going to talk about Kerma and the Fufu and all that stuff, man, you got to get your dates right. You just can't be throwing out Kerma. You got to know that Kerma is much later and it's a rival to Egypt.
We were really looking at that's just the beginning of the video. Reggie, he just kind of laying out an outline.
Yeah,
that's not like it's just starting.
If the European expert, as you call them, if he don't put up dates and you don't check the dates, then you're not doing your homework.
There are dates, bro. What I'm saying is he was just giving a demonstration of borrowing.
Yeah, what he talking
about. But the video was 2 hours long, so you can't really digest what the video is just based on that little 2 minutes. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just I'm digesting what I'm hearing y'all say. I'm saying y'all.
Let's just listen to what they say, and let's see what you
agree. Basically, we look at the clip, Reg, and we know the time period when, if you mentioned in Kerma, right? And he was just showing where they borrowed from this. And I know I was wrong because they did borrow from that. Reggie makes the argument that, well, what about me for that? But we weren't even talking about that, which is cool. So I can date the A culture at 3800 BCE, Reggie. Like I know my dates. Yeah, and I can back that up with Chicago source. Yeah, right?
Yeah, I got it. I could 3800. Yeah.
Yeah, 3800 BCE. Yeah, and all that Mesopotamian shit be silly to me at times. It just really gets silly. But you know what I'm saying? But I think the point that Sosa is making, he's right though. There was an entitlement, there were borrowing, there were colonization. These are the things we all fucking avoid. Am I not right or wrong? So we avoid it and say, Nubia is the mother and that's it. I swear that's how we learned it. If I'm tripping, Sosa, tell me I'm tripping.
All right, you're right.
Right, we ain't never had this discussion, Reggie.
Oh, Egypt, the borrowing came from Egypt. The state Egypt borrowed. They borrowed.
Chef, where you at, Chef? Get out the chair, Chef. Chef turned his lights out.
Yeah, I mean,
y'all got the borrowing.
I mean, when you talk about shared ideas, they're gonna do that. But if one is colonizing the other, then the aspect of bar will be even greater because they're imposing the colonization on those people.
At the time that you're talking about, the Egypt civilization and Kerma was at war, and then Tutmosis came down here and stamped out Kerma civilization. They were at war. So
but most of the history they were rivals. They were at war with each other, one trying to take over the other. That's consistent throughout the history, right? Am I wrong or am I right?
Egypt drew boundaries.
Am I wrong or am I right, Reggie?
Did not respect the boundaries. There was not necessary. There were skirmishes. There wasn't really open warfare until the civilization was invaded by Tutmosis, and they went across the lines and stomped them out.
Hold on, what? Not the first dynasty. What? Let me look at it. What Nubian group did the first dynasty put down? The first dynasty. Which one was that?
It wasn't Nubian, yo.
Which one was it?
The first dynasty of Egypt wasn't Nubian. We got to stop it.
No, I talk about in terms of that culture that they put down.
That's why they called the first dynasty.
No. I'll find out.
Chef about to fall out. Chef funny as hell. Reggie, keep fighting though, Reggie. Right? I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. Here it is. The Nubian A group. Let me get it real quick.
Who you looking for? So I got the stores right here, the Nubian A group.
Yeah.
All right. Is that Chicago?
Yeah.
Go up to the top. Let me see that. You should have the other way. Yeah, let's look at. Yeah, there you go. See all the shit in there, the gallery and stuff. All right.
Yeah. Talk about the Nubian A group. The A group.
All right, where is that? Where is that? All right.
Yeah.
You make it big, yeah.
Yeah, the A group flourished until it was destroyed by the pharaohs of Egypt, first dynasty around 3100 BC.
Mm. So the A group is definitely before Egypt. Mm-hmm. But they not Egyptians. We talking about.
Yeah, but I'm showing like like they were constantly at each other, bro.
Good point, though, Reggie. I hear your point, Reggie. Like that's why I say for me.
They were constantly.
Nubia is the mother of Egypt. Just for me, my opinion. That ain't, you know what I'm saying? So I want you to kind of show the case, though. If you showed the case, we could. Hold on.
The case.
Right here. The artifacts. See the case? Some artifacts in that joint right there, yo. Let's see. Hold on. But that's still, that don't make the Egyptians Nubians, though. That's one of them things. We gotta knock that off. Yo.
What I'm saying is this theory as they were like loving brothers. Yeah, they dealt with each other.
We gotta knock that off.
Them niggas were constantly at war, and every time Egypt got stronger, they defeated them and colonized them every chance they get.
Yeah, but hold on, yo. You ain't gonna let you go one-sided. There are plenty of wars that's not detailed by the Egyptians, though. That's real.
I'm not saying I don't know why they did it. I'm just saying they did.
I know why they didn't do it, because it's propaganda.
No, I'm saying I don't know why Egypt. What it doesn't matter what motivated them to do it. They did it. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, they did it. Yeah, but it went on both sides though. It's times they only detail one time with the 25th dynasty, but it was times where fucking Nubia brought them to their feet, yo, brought them to their knees, yo. They don't write about it though. I'll bring that up. Yeah, they got it. They found the tune that was detailed. It's craziest shit ever.
You can look up the what will help y'all is.
So hold on. The society whose name is unknown.
I think the love affair narrative. I think that is very wrong.
Reggie talking about what will help us. You need to help.
Let me read this. It say the A group was the first. Look, the A group was the first powerful culture of northern Nubia, a society whose ancient name is unknown. They don't know the name. Remember, I told y'all that. They don't know the name. Called the A group. Rising them just start putting letters on them. By archaeologists, was the earliest Nubian culture with strong rulers. So they had rulers. They don't say chiefs, they say rulers. That's an important statement. Rulers. So we're not gonna relegate them to chiefs. They used to try to play that game. We're gonna give them their thing, rulers. But they sure as hell wasn't ruling as Egyptian. We're not gonna play that game either. We gotta look at the evidence. It say developed out of the Neolithic cultures of the Nile Valley. The A group is unknown largely from its, A group is known largely from its cemeteries, its burials, artifacts, rock art. Remember I showed y'all rock art? Found along the Nile from Kubania, north of the first cataract to the second cataract. We don't gotta show a map. We know what north of the first cataract is, right? That area is traditionally known as Egypt, right? So at certain time periods, and we need to make a highlight of it. Chef, if I'm doing too much, just say it. Sosa, if I'm doing too much, just say it. Right? But these kings ruled north of the first cataract. Okay, that's an important. Let me finish. Much of the power and wealth of the A group came from trade. Its location gave access to gold from the eastern desert, which is the carnelian from the western desert, and exotic products like incense and ivory and ebony from farther south along the Nile. Okay, the A group traded these resources with Egyptian products. Many contain large storage vessels as well for olive oil and from the Mediterranean coast. Okay, there you go. So I just think I'm not willing to do what Reggie is doing. I'm just not. But I gotta admit that at 3800 BCE, the A group had powerful rulers that ruled northward of the first cataract. Am I tripping? If I'm tripping, if I'm doing too much, Sosa, tell me I'm tripping. How about you, Chef? Let me hear from Chef.
Wait,
I know where you at, Reggie. Hold on, Reggie. I know where you at, Reggie. But just because they ruled north of the first cataract don't make them Egyptians. But if go ahead. We say something, Chef.
No, y'all go ahead. Y'all.
No. What you gotta say to that though?
I don't have nothing to say. I don't have no dog in this fight.
No, is my statement right or wrong though?
No, you repeated what the paragraph said. So if I agree with the paragraph, I agree with you.
All right. Okay, don't fuck it up, Reggie. Reggie, don't mess it up. Go ahead, hold on, Reggie. It's your turn, Reggie.
Let Reggie do that.
I just don't want y'all to embarrass yourselves.
No, Reggie, hold on, Reggie. Go ahead.
We're just talking about
sister culture. That sister culture was Nakata. Nakata, pull up Nakata. It's Nubian A and Nakata. Nermer came from the combinations of those two civilizations, most likely from Nakata, because he was buried. The burials were in Abydos, in Abju. The Nakata civilization and the Nubian civilization gave birth to the Egyptian civilization. When Egypt ended up beating out the Nubian A civilization, they weren't contemporaries. They were
So
not
how old is
contemporaries.
so Nakata? Let's see, the Nakata culture.
Yeah, thank you. So pull
dating
it up.
back to 4400 BC. Let's see what.
Look at the map where Nakata civilization is.
Spell it out. Spell it out.
Yeah,
Nakata. Spell it out, Reggie.
Naqada.
You see it right there? You don't see my screen? Yeah.
Okay. Nakata 1. We're gonna do Nakata 1, right?
Yeah.
Reggie, don't embarrass me, Reggie.
You agree? So you agree that
you got the wiki?
4400?
All right, go. Oh, he killed us with the 40 shot.
Look at Nakata. Show the map. Maybe.
Hold on. Wait. What did it say? Nakata what? Read that.
God.
Which one?
All right, we see the Nakata.
You see the dot on the map, right? You see it?
Yeah, but you need a better map, because if you had a better map, you would see it by Abydos. So this civilization, where they're making in Nakata 1 anywhere between 4400, 4000 BC, and Nubian A culture, which is 4000, 3800 BC, Egypt wasn't even born yet. There was no rivalry with Egypt. Egypt didn't exist.
Okay, so why were we talking about a rivalry when a rivalry didn't exist? Like, that's not. I'm talking about when this shit exists. Like, I don't.
Okay.
Like,
so
what ultimate point? What ultimate point are you making?
Why
It's like a narrow.
educate me? Why don't you educate me when the rivalry started? Why don't you educate me?
The minute they developed rival empires, bro. The minute they detach themselves culturally from the other.
Okay. So
pastoralists don't coalesce with farmers, bro.
So you're playing. So
no, that's real. I'm not.
Yeah,
that's not playing.
Okay. So
throughout history of man, they don't do that.
Give me some data, Sosa. Give me some data, something that we can look at.
I'm gonna give you the read. I'll just give you some read material. And you come back on the history of. Just look in the farming. Just look in the farming. Pastoralists and hunter gatherers. See how they coincide.
Yeah, that's Abraham. That's
Abraham.
Look.
That is science, bro. That's not.
No. We don't.
Science.
Hey, Reggie, we looking good, Reggie. We looking good. Don't let them get you.
That's science, bro. You tripping?
No, he's not. He's going back to pastoralism. That's like throwing DNA in him when we don't got to talk about DNA.
No. Listen, I'm saying, like, so just give me the crush of your argument. You're saying that so because the Carter A culture is right there near Abydos, and that's at 4400 BC. You're using that to mark as the mother of Egypt.
Everybody knows that, Sosa. Nubian A and Nakata are the mothers of Egyptian civilization.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
And they call it. Why do they call it? They call it Nubian. They call it Nubian A because the name was unknown, right? Huh?
Yep, they don't know the name.
So they call it based on the territory that it was not Egypt at the time.
Right. So right.
It was southern rulers.
Yeah.
Nubian A. So then
right. So but when you say Nubia A and you kind of juxtapose it with Nubia, but the culture is actually unknown, you're identifying as Nubians doing it, but it's just based on the location that will be Nubia, right? Because there's no the culture is developing.
Yeah, I'm trying to help you out.
I got you. Here go the map. Hold on. Let's do this. Here you go. Shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
All right. You see it? Y'all got it?
Okay.
Everybody can see it, right?
Yeah. So
that's Aswan, right?
Yeah.
Aswan. I just highlighted in blue, right?
Yeah. Chef, my geography guy, man.
First cataract. Y'all see the first cataract, right? It's in blue.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. First cataract. And so they group that right here, bam, here you go. That's Aswan and Cologne and Cubano. First cataract. Y'all see the first cataract, right? You see it, Sosa?
What? Yeah.
First cataract, bro, Aswani and Kubani.
Right.
So they ruled this.
Yep.
Now, Nakata period. First cataract. All right. So what do we to make of this? I mean, I wouldn't say that that's
what you wanna make out. Nakata ruled down from Thebes and above from Abdo down to the first cataract.
below the first cataract.
First cataract, which is Wawet, right? Then you have Nubian A culture. So you have
right. So let me ask you this: in Nubian A culture, who are the Egyptians?
they don't exist yet.
Yeah,
Right.
Egyptians don't. Yeah,
Right.
it don't exist yet.
Right. Nubians don't.
Take
So
over Nakata.
and what we would identify what we would identify as Nubians wouldn't exist there either, right?
Yeah, we just
talking about region
because because we don't have writing to say what the people are, but in the first dynasty you have Harkuth. Harkuth makes a voyage into the southern parts. So if you look at the story of Harkuth, he will detail his voyage from Egypt down into those parts, which would be.
And what period was that? What period was he in?
Harkuth?
Yeah.
Harkuf.
What period?
The first dynasty.
Right. In the first dynasty.
Harkuth, not the first dynasty.
First or second dynasty.
Okay, well, but the first dynasty put an end to the first dynasty put an end to Nubian A culture, right?
Yep.
What?
Right. The first dynasty put an end to Nubian A culture.
I believe
no,
it did.
the Nubian A culture is Ankh said 3800. Nakata is
we just read the Nubian.
They did put an end to him. The Nubian A culture was a brother group to the Nakata, though. It was a brother group, but they branched off. Nakata branched off and then turned around and went down there and put them down.
Hold on, who's speaking though? Who's speaking?
That's Ngozi.
Yeah, come in and introduce yourself and Ngozi. Goddamn, yo, relax.
Oh yeah, what's happening, man? Peace and love to the panel, yo. I didn't even know y'all could hear me like that.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear, nigga. You know we can hear you, goddamn it. Come on. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ngozi. Ngozi. Damn, that shit went out. Boy, I tell you. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Damn, what happened? So they don't give us a time period when he's cool. Yeah, I think the A group got pushed out though. I think the Nubian group, the Egyptians pushed out the A group. Am I tripping when I'm saying that, Sosa, or what?
No, they didn't really reach the A group. They drew the border. What they did was they absorbed Nakata, and the Nubian A group was pretty much separate and left on their own, right? So then you have Harkuth, and if you could pull up the autobiography of Harkuth, somebody pull that up, and that will give us the details of when Egypt now is a state. Now they go and they try to mend old problems, and they send an expedition down to what would be the remnants of Nubian A culture. So you can read Harkuth, Harkhuf. This is the standard ancient Egyptian reading. Harkuth.
So here you go. This is important right here. This is a Wikipedia article. I like Chicago University better, but it says this is my man right here. This is the guy. This is the racist of all races.
Because they gave him extra 300 years.
Huh?
Because I think they added 300 years.
No, it's 38.
Oh, it's 38. All right.
It's 38. No, you funny. So it's saying 1907, George Reisner, mean, we talked about Rosner. Straight races. First discovered the artifacts belonging to the A group. Early hubs of this civilization included Cabana in the north and Buan in the south, with Aswan, Sela, and Tosca, and Castule. We talked about the Castule incense burners, showing them wearing these kings, what garbs they was wearing. You would think they was Egyptian, but they wasn't. It said the A group markers maintained commercial ties with ancient Egyptians. See, right. He said they traded commodities, incense, ebony, and all that, gathered southern rivers area. It say they also, bartered, what is this, carnelian from the western desert, as well as gold and mined from the eastern desert. In exchange with Egyptian products, olive oil and all that. Hold on. Excavation from the A group cemetery Castule, yielding an old incense burner, which was adorned with ancient Egyptian royal. See, this is where we had a problem, right here, Reggie. See this, Reggie? Here's the game. It's the game for me. Excavations at the A group cemetery in Castule yielded an old incense burner, which was adorned with ancient Egyptian royal iconography. Right? Then it says, however, further research established that antecedents of the pre-dynastic Egyptian regalia, the earliest known example of ancient Egyptian royal iconography, I know I'm saying pronounced it wrong, such as representation of the red crown on a late Nakata I pottery vessel from Abydos, or what's this? Triumphal sense in painting from Hierapolis tomb 100, are much older than Castule. It seems thus that it was the Castule rulers who adapted symbols of royal authority developed in ancient Egypt, not vice versa. You agree to that, Reggie? Where you at, Reggie? You must be muted.
Castule is Lower Nubia, right? Right? So,
where the hell Reggie go at?
So it's saying
he right there talking, but his mic muted.
The tomb
man, your mic muted, Reggie. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I definitely don't agree with that.
I gotta say because
no, I don't agree. I don't agree.
You disagree with that? You disagree with
that?
Yeah,
better source. So
in that video, it said the same thing about the
Bruce Williams is the author that will argue the Q-style incense burner. He didn't make the find, but he argued it.
Give me can we pull it up, Reggie, though, so we can look at that source? Because I want to see what they're saying. Y'all saying that this is bullshit.
No. I said I don't agree with it, but I can't disagree with the experts. Let me bring an expert to disagree.
Yeah, I'm saying get the expert so we can kind of examine.
You see it? Can you see it?
Right.
I'm going to University of Chicago.
Yeah.
Oriental Studies, that's your man. That's your man. James Brusted. That's your man's. Castule incense burner. Here you go.
Is that the up-to-date shit?
Huh?
You said James Brusted. Ain't that what he was just reading?
When?
I could have sworn that was just on the screen.
I was reading this from Wikipedia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I read it.
Because what they're saying is that the narrative that we've been getting in terms of the Egyptian pharaoh and all that shit coming out of Nubia is actually not correct. That what we're seeing in Nubia is a copying of what they were doing, and we're taking that and saying that the Egyptian got it from them.
No, see what you're making them.
Hold on, Reggie, you don't got to argue with them. Let's read the source.
Let's read.
Right. So I'm gonna take the University of Chicago over Wikipedia any day. You can't even write a paper using Wikipedia, although I respect it though.
No, I mean, let's do what it says.
Here you go. Could this be a Nubian object with Egyptian images? Okay, let's see. This incense burner is distinctly Nubian in form. Let's get that straight. Distinctly Nubian form, carved in the technique of Nubian rock art. It is decorated on the rim with typical Nubian designs. It was found in the tomb of a Nubian ruler at Castol and incorporates images associated with Egyptian pharaohs. A procession of the sacred boats, the white crown of Upper Egypt, a falcon deity, hold on, and a palace facade called the Sekhet.
Sir.
Okay, it appears to represent a ritual that evolved a royal procession by boat to a palace. Now let's see. How did the Nubian relate to Egyptians during the A group? It say the scene depicted on Castol incense burner have excited considerable interest in the discussion. Why would seemingly Egyptian symbols have been used in Nubia? One interpretation is that the Nubian A group, that's one interpretation that the Nubian A group rulers and the early Egyptian pharaohs used related royal symbols. Similarly, similarities in rock art of the A group Nubian and Upper Egyptian support this position. Another view suggests that the decorations was carved by Nubians in imitation of the Egyptian art and ritual. In this perspective, the A group Nubian rulers would have emulated the symbols of Egyptian pharaohs, whose prestige and power were evident. Watch this. It say the best chances of resolving this question lie further exploration of the area of Nubia that are still accessible and an excavation in the centers of early Egypt, where further evidence of development of pharaonic traditions may be found. So I'm going with this right here.
Right. So we agree with that, then we agree that we're jumping the gun, saying that
right.
That should come from Nubia, bro. We're jumping the gun with that. Because we've been saying that consistently for like up until now.
More than likely the shit is Egyptian. Like we just gotta stop it. We gotta knock it off. More than likely,
but that's a dagger for y'all past argument.
More than likely they copied motifs that were that they seen in Egypt. They're very close to each other. And we know that those crowns and stuff are more consistent with Egyptian culture than it is with Nubian culture. So knock it off, y'all. Y'all gotta stop.
Okay, so let me share my screen.
Hey Reggie, you gonna let him get away with that?
Yes.
You just made that up.
No,
it's
I
not
didn't.
more consistent.
So you
with
telling me
nothing.
that crown
I'm telling you that crown
is not
consistent
more
with Egyptian
with
and Nubian culture.
Hold on.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
bro.
it's not. No, it's
I'm
not.
saying with that. I'm
the
saying with
Nubian
that
crown
saying.
don't even look like that.
Hey,
get out of
this
here.
out.
Knock it off.
Let's go read. So let's go read the Oriental Institute, right? And let's go read 1977, right?
Whoa.
Where the work was actually done by Dr. Bruce Williams.
You want to start with 1977?
Get him, Ray.
Kingdom.
I'm going back to the Cairo Symposium, man.
Wait. Here too far, Nubia in the time of the pharaoh has been considered a political backwater. Most scholars believe that during most of the historical ages, the inhabitants of Nubia were loosely grouped into tribes of clans, occasionally under a more or less powerful regional chief. True, in the second intermediate period, 1700 to 1650 BC, a mighty prince arose in Kush near modern Kermo, who disrupted Nile Valley with the 17th dynasty of Egypt. But it is a matter of general consensus that the first Nubian dynasty to call itself kings was that which became the 25th dynasty of Egypt under Kianki, right, in 1718 BC. Now, new evidence has come to light from the materials excavated by Professor Keith C. Seal in the hurried effort to rescue materials from the rising waters of Lake Nassar. This evidence indicates that the first rise of centralized kingdoms in Nubia was much earlier. Late in the 1963, 60. Okay, so
yeah, what we're saying, Reggie. We're saying
what?
So what are you saying? Like, what are you trying to prove?
What is he saying? Is the title? Let's just go back.
No, just tell me. Just tell me what you're trying to prove. Don't just tell me.
At the dawn of history.
Yeah, just tell me what you're trying to prove. What point?
He is saying that the iconography that you think is Egyptian came from Nubia, and Nakata. That is Bruce Williams.
Is that what he said? Let me hear him say it.
Yeah,
I ain't hear you read so much other shit. You should have read straight on that, bro.
When you show something in 1977, that he's saying that you got to show that hasn't changed.
Bruce Williams, it has not changed. That's the whole point of it. This is what everything is built on.
No, we just read a source that says that there's two.
Man, Wikipedia. All right, let's hold on.
There's two.
Not Wikipedia. This is the Arlington Institute newsletter, breaking the story of the Kustal incense burner, talking about iconography that you think is Egyptian, but the white crown came from Nubia A, and the red crown came from Nakata. Nakata is Abdu, right? That area. So the whole thing with the Horus and the Seret, this in Nubia A is goddamn writing before ancient Egypt.
Reggie, come on, man. Can you show us something a little bit newer, man? And we don't want to deal with writing because the consensus is what it is. We can't overturn that on YouTube right now.
This is the consensus. You haven't read Bruce Williams' work. This is the consensus.
From 1977.
Right.
So why does the Chicago Institute disagree with that, what we just read? It just said that there's two competing theories, and they're going to try to find more evidence. We need
you know they ain't going to never find it because they flooded this shit out. You know that, right?
Yeah. You're not racist.
Nah, it's just saying, however, archaeological cemeteries at Coastal are no longer available for excavation since the flooding of Lake Nasir.
Yeah, you ain't hear when they say that they did that because they did it on purpose because of racism.
No, they did it for water, yo. Get the fuck out of here.
They've been saying that.
Has to be in the way.
That's Reggie. What? Tell why they flooded that area, bro. Start this bullshit.
Oh man, they wouldn't have flooded that shit out if it was something.
Let Reggie tell you.
Egypt did it for energy, but they just did not care. But UNESCO had the salvage project. And they brought the world in to try to salvage as much as they can because they couldn't interrupt what Egypt was trying to do for its own politics and its economics. So, but what's happening with Egypt now? Ethiopia is damming the Nile and giving them the same business.
Yeah.
But when you start doing this, part of it has. Yes, it has something to do with racism, but it has a lot to do with energy. It had a lot to do with Egypt trying to control the energy. But the point of this all is that Nubian A culture, which you already showed, is 3,800 BC, and Nakata is 4,000 BC, and Egypt is not in existence yet. So it had to come from these cultures because these cultures were earlier. Egypt wasn't even born yet. The racist white scholars, they wanted to disregard this information. That's what they failed. So, I don't have too much to say except for you're going to have to increase your reading material. Otherwise, you're going to look really bad.
I don't understand, bro. Go ahead, Golo. What's good, bro? What's good, bro?
Oh, shit. And don't bring in no bullshit DNA stuff and all of that stuff. Look at that material culture.
Yeah, they hate DNA.
BS.
What you talking about, bro? You use DNA along with the material culture. The people had genes, bro. That made moves. And plus, I don't trust anything you say no more, Reggie. Anyway, you talking about you was Pygmies on the normal panel.
Yeah, your mic chop.
You don't like me anyway, Gullah Geechee, but it's okay.
Mic chop. Reggie, you made a statement that they were. You made a statement. Reggie,
that's not your area.
Reggie, you made a statement that they were Pygmies on the normal panel.
Because it's symbolic. We know that those people
History is my area.
Your mic, Gullah. Your mic choppy as hell. Sound like it's static. Like it ain't clear. Like it's coming
Yeah,
in.
it ain't clear, so we can't hear you. The fact of the matter is that the ancient Egyptians revered the Twa people. And so you have, of course, you have Bes. So it could have been some mapping where they were commoners, but it's all symbolic. So when we're looking at the
the term Twa is a Bantu term. So how do the Egyptians talk about some Twa? That's a Bantu term, bro. What are you talking about?
Because these people were still in the area. So it's
no. How was Twa people in the area and that the thing even make them have short stature is them having adaptation to the rainforest. There were no rainforests up there that far, bro. Come on, man. The people on that normal palette is people in the distance. You don't even understand art. There's people in the distance or either smaller people could just to make normal look big. The other people because he the king. Them ain't no pygmies, bro. You tripping, man.
Okay, so did they
Reggie hold on, Reggie. You got him with the pygmies on the normal paleo?
Or Twa, yeah.
Oh man, I thought you was reading it somewhere. You mean you just hit me with the eyeball touch, yo?
Yeah, we gotta give you more reading material, right?
Reggie. No, you didn't, Reggie.
I did because
Don't do me like that, man. I thought you read it in the glyphs. It wasn't on the glyph?
Because they were sacred people. You have them in the first dynasty. You have when Harkuf goes down, they bring back a 12 person.
So you got middle stone.
That's not what I'm saying, Reggie.
You got middle stone age people all the way up north up there.
I'm saying they was holding the standard. You know, why you make them? You said they
because all of the standards, all of that stuff is in belief systems. So we don't really know exactly. If you think that all of this stuff on the normal palette wasn't symbolic, you're out of your mind.
No. I'm trying to study with you. I'm trying to figure out how you reach the conclusion that those people hold the standard was the.
Because a lot of this stuff goes into their belief systems, right?
Yeah.
What? Them people still holding them standards of people in the distance, bro. That's like, you know what I'm saying, foreshadow art. Like if you understand art history.
I don't know. You're doing a lot of talking. You got some college?
Yeah, I went to school for anthropology. No, I didn't finish, but I went to school for anthropology to get the methodology to know what I'm talking about.
All right.
I did finish in Black Studies, and I have a long history. You may not respect it, but that's okay. You don't have to respect it. But the whole point of it is that it's all symbolic. So we do know about Harkuf. We do know them bringing back a Twa person, right? And we also have so we have other stories where during the Saqqara where you have Twa people. So Twa people became part of the Egyptian civilization, as well as many other.
Do we have experts on that, Reggie? Like, can we?
Actually off.
Can we see where that came from, or is that your own theory that you?
No, that's new experts. If you go to academia.org.
Whoa! Who is this talking though? Who in the hell is this
brother?
talking?
Let me wipe my feet on the carpet and knock on the door.
Come on, man.
Your brother is sorry, Cobb. Sorry. Yeah,
okay, stop 1 second, Asar. This is the portion of the show, yo, where we let the guests come in. Of course, Gullah's not a guest, and goddamn Reggie's not a guest. But now I put the link in there. We got our first guest. That's Asar. You gotta watch him now. He's slightly coated with black algae. You gotta watch him.
I'm a little colder.
He speaks the meta nature. You gotta watch him, right?
But a good brother though. Good brother.
He's a great brother.
Good brother.
Hold on, Asar. Yo, before we get into this portion of the show, man, I want y'all to support Abjeware, man. Make sure y'all support Abjeware. Moderators, put that in the chat. Abjeware, while y'all at it, because we working. And I would like to say that I need some damn subscribers on the Bobby Banger channel. I'm gonna drop the link for y'all to subscribe to the Bobby Banger channel. Now let me refresh it. Let me see where we at. We started 133. 137. Come on, I need 3 more. 3 more subscribers to reach the 140 mark. And I'm hoping y'all thinking like I'm thinking. All right? Come on, we're trying to reach 145. All right, that's what we want to do for today's show. All right, make sure y'all support Abs You Wear while you at it. I'm gonna share the screen real quick, and then we're gonna get into the first caller. Share the screen right here. Here we go. Pseudo Killas. Got a nice Pseudo Killer shirt. Pseudo Killas is say the goddamn particle right here. There you go. Y'all know that is the Higgs particle right here. That's the Higgs particle right here on the shirt right here, right? A nice little design on the back, man. Y'all go ahead and support Abs You Wear, man. Pseudo Killas, man. That's what we doing, man. We doing it all day. Okay there, brother. It's your turn. The esteemed first caller, Mr. Saw. You done heard the discussion of the day. We talked about the DNA. We talked about this. What say you, Mr. Saw? What's good?
Man, my brothers, my sisters in the chat, my brothers in the chat. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you running out of time. Yeah, go ahead.
Mind if I share my screen real quick?
And what are you proving here? Because we're gonna stay on the course.
Well, we want to
hold on.
Okay.
Before you share your screen, so it's my opinion that Nubia is the mother of Egypt, but I ain't found no experts to really back that up yet. Right, and that Costul incense burner, and that's waiting. That's somewhere. That's floating. That's not. It's not solid, and it's there though. I could black algae my way, nudge my way over there. But the experts, they caught in the middle too. They don't know. Everybody don't know. But go ahead, Asar. Share your screen.
We're gonna get real black. We're gonna get real black real quick. So, all right, let the clock tick. So first, let's look real quick. This is a list, right? Y'all know this list. This is pre-dynastic times. You can see it right up here. So you see Seka. You see
Make it bigger. Make it bigger. Hit that button, that blue button up in the top. Up. On your thing. You should put your pointer back on the black thing you was on just now.
Let me see.
Put your pointer over there. You don't got it on there?
Let me go like this.
You don't got to touch that, yo. You could have just made it bigger with the thing. Forget it. You messed it. Go ahead.
I'm on the clock.
No, I've stopped the clock for that, yo. Go ahead.
Thank you. So you got Seka, Kayu, Tiyu. You already know about Tia and Tiyu. They're Nehesi. You got Tish. You got Neheb. So you got the Winegbu. Did y'all forget about Winnie? That's a Nubian name. This is a Nubian name. This is a Nubian name. Seka is shared between the two cultures. Well, let's go a little further. Let's go prehistoric Egypt.
What's your point you making right there, though? What you saying?
We got Nubian kings in pre-dynastic Egypt. Now,
wait. Could they not be Egyptians using Nubian names?
And why would Egyptians use a Nubian name if you're persecuting them and trying to get away from them? Let's go further, Brother Banger and Brother Shay. My brothers on the panel. This is prehistoric Egypt. So I don't like to mess around with the fake stuff. I like to go right to the archaeology. And this is from a good old-fashioned racist, W.M. Flinders Petrie. Let's go look at some of the stuff he says concerning.
We in 1917.
It's like we
all to the original.
What Nubian language was it? Was it Old Nubian or was it Ma'ab? What Nubian was it?
Well, you know, you have Winnie the general who was under Kamos and Amos, huh?
Yeah, Kamos and Amos, you way up.
So what you doing with Negbu in the pre-dynastic times? Yeah, so that's a discussion. We'll have that discussion deep on another time. I'm just touching some things just so that we're clear. I just want to be clear tonight. That's all. So let's go here, right? Because we got a lot of jars, we got a lot of bases, and we got a lot of Nubian graves in pre-dynastic Egypt. Let's go down a little bit. Any statements before I get to the part?
Yeah, they talk about that, but if
Where they
I'm,
talk
if
about
I'm not
it?
mistaken, in the burials, right, it consisted mostly of Nubian artifacts and not Egyptian artifacts. There may be one Egyptian artifact.
Absolutely.
Right, but
Pointing towards Nubia.
No, but they were saying that just show that's what they call rejection. That's Nubia holding on to its own culture. I think there was one. I think there was one thing that I think they found the Egyptian scarab, if I'm not mistaken, in the burial.
A scarab? Remember, I heard one of y'all say maces came from Asia, right?
No, let's just stay on.
No, the round mason came from Asia, but Egyptians already had what they call a disc mace already.
Oh,
they just adopted the round mace.
There go my brother Geach. He coming
in terms of the burial, though, go ahead. Go in terms of the burial.
So maces here. You found them in the funerary imitations. It's pre-dynastic Egypt. Remember, we still talking about Nubia and pre-dynastic Egypt. But let's go.
Pre-dynastic Egypt, you consider that's new. That's just
it's Nubians.
It's in the same region of. So you're making no distinction.
No, I'm saying that they broke away as a Nubian group, becoming the Egyptians. And if I go further into Brugish, there's a statement made by the 26th, 27th dynasty when they say finally the originals are back on the throne. But we ain't gonna get into all that.
That's too far along. No, you're the 25th, 26th. You wait that way too far.
We're not even gonna go into that. Well, all I want to do now is get into. So that's when it happened. So remember, you're talking about that time frame. You're talking a long time ago. So let me get over here to where is it at?
What's you doing?
Going to the index. Hold up. We got pictures of stuff. We got
Yeah, okay.
You better get that shit right, yo. You 1917, yo.
Huh? You see them? Look, let's go further. Let's
so
look at some
put it up there. Let me look at that. Who are those people right there? Up some more.
Okay.
Yeah, bring it up so we can see pictures.
You want that nose right there? Let me pull that nose up for you right
I'm saying, like, who are those? What do they represent? What are they representation of? The population?
Historic Tuscan stones with heads. This is pre-dynastic Egypt. You looking at your first Egyptians.
What I'm looking at?
Some long beards right there. Hold up.
Hold up. I'm about to pull it up. There you go. You see his nose?
Oh, you doing the nose shit?
Look, it look like it might be. I can't tell what's there.
You like a damn Viking, don't you?
Look at that long ass beard right there. On number 4.
That shit look like
you see his nose down here.
Oh my!
Like the Vikings, yo.
Oh my goodness.
That's Odin.
Egyptians.
We don't look nothing like no Viking.
No, we is not doing that.
He rocking. He rocking.
Number 6. Now watch this. Let's see how they comb their hair.
You just do us like that, yo.
Let's see how they comb their hair. Let's see how they comb their hair real quick.
Oh man.
That's pottery. That's what y'all usually be talking about. But I want to see let's see how they comb their hair. Oh, that's what Saber Reggie pulled out on you. You know what that's about. And you got a boat in one of them.
But you know you didn't have just one type of group of people there. It's not a monolith. Like you had different
but the issue is
Sudanic or North
I see the African art though. I definitely see
you had different Afrasians and they was crossing each other's zones, going back and forth, interacting with each other.
Who was combing their hair with that? Who was combing their hair with these?
He bought the Afrasians.
So you're saying that
who's combing their hair with this?
You're saying because they had those picks.
Huh?
Even though in all those graves you find people with jet black straight hair, you're saying that those.
Nah, you done made that up, Sosa. You done jet black straight hair. Straight hair, yo.
Yeah. Sosa.
Go ahead.
Not the straight hair, yo. They remember they trying to black out.
These people wasn't the Nubians that y'all thinking about.
Who used this pick right here? in
I
the
don't see no
European
pic.
house.
I'm saying something
You
else.
had
What am I
different,
missing?
you had different Nubians. That's why I hate the Nubian is kind of a loaded. It's a loaded
Yeah.
term, bro. Like,
Right. That's
so
what
you got
I'm
different.
Prehistoric.
Those northern Nubian types
These are
in that
cones.
area is not the same or what y'all talking about. Like
These is cones.
y'all
Who used
fucking
these
that up.
cones?
But go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. You know, the only person combing their hair with this, huh? Yeah, you know the only person combing their hair with these. Let's
I don't
not
see
play the
that.
game.
I don't see no damn pic yet.
It say right here, prehistoric combs.
Nigga,
Prehistoric
y'all
bone
seeing
and
that?
ivory combs, first
Yeah, it's
period.
on the screen. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I must be on a different screen, nigga. All I see is man, I don't see man, that ain't what I'm seeing. I gotta look at YouTube, man, because I ain't get to that shit.
I'm not sure what I see right now. You see all these pics?
No, what I see is clay and wood model weapons. That's what I see.
Yeah, I don't know where you at, brother. Huh?
I'm looking at
we
y'all.
only got pics.
What?
Look at the brother with the beard right here. He got the Albie Shore with the right here. That's a broken pic. These are
now I
cones.
see the pic. Now I see it.
Okay, it's taking a minute.
Now I see the bushes, the bush cones,
Yeah,
the Afro
absolutely.
pics, black power joints.
Oh, look like he got leopard skin on the top of this right here with the little beard. He look like a brother from the hood right there. So this is the problem. Cats, they not black. Some of them is black. It's okay to say they black.
Yeah, you had all type of
you
had all type of people there. You had Nilo-Saharans, you had Afrasian groups intermixing, you had hybrid groups, all this shit.
Most Europeans couldn't get down there at that time.
Nah, that's not true. He not even saying. See, he ain't saying
Most
European.
cats wasn't down there like that in that time.
Or artwork that they put in their hair, right? So it's part of their artwork. You don't have no flat head that can
Get him, chef. As a barber, we have a professional.
You don't have no flat.
Let me let's
you can put these combs in their
let me
head.
show something. Yeah, let me show.
These are ceremonial combs that they would leave in their head as artwork. You don't have no flathead Levant type of people that can carry these type of artwork.
But that's not what I'm saying. They're not actually saying that.
Hey,
they're not actually saying everything they're saying. But whoever they was forged in Africa. But they don't know that them people migrated thousands of years to that area. Wouldn't nobody know that, yo? They just looking at them as family. Reggie, you do know that though, right, Reggie?
Yeah, huh? What?
We're not gonna sit up here and act like that a population that migrate down to Ethiopia, right? Migrate in the east. We're not gonna migrate into West Africa too. We're not gonna act like that, and we also not gonna act like that shit made them anything else but Africans. We're gonna keep it right there in the middle. I ain't gonna let y'all dive, and I ain't gonna let them dive, because they weren't walking around with the Hubble group over top of their head. They didn't know.
Okay.
You see right here,
what I am going
more recent. Hold on, Reggie. More recent and broader studies had determined that the distinct pottery style, differential burial practice, different grade goods, and distribution of sites all indicate that the Nakata people and the Nubian A group people were from different cultures. Right? Nakata culture bearers contain very few Nubian craft goods, which suggests that while Egyptian goods were exported to Nubia and were buried in A group graves, A group goods were of little interest further north.
I'm with that. What year is that?
Huh?
What year is that source?
Then in the Nakata period, the Nubian A group period, but then go further down. The A group markers left behind a number of cemeteries, with each necropolis containing around 50 graves. Most of what is known about this culture has been gleaned from these tombs, over 3,000 of which have been excavated. The burials were of two kinds, a more commonly oval pit, a similar pit featuring later funerary niche. Skeletons found within these graves were observed to be physically akin to their peers in Upper Egypt. The specimens typically had straight hair, a black or dark brown hair.
All right, read the next paragraph. Don't move it. Don't move it.
On average, the men, where you want to go? On average, the men were
dental trade analysis of the A group.
Right. So we okay, but I said about the straight hair and black, about the straight hair, you said nah, I made that up.
What is straight hair?
Yeah,
I just read
it
it.
say straight here, there, but if I go pull up the excavation book, it'd be a problem.
Has straight hair of black or dark brown hue.
Ooh.
The skeletons from the grave site in the Nakata in the A group.
All right, read the next one. Next paragraph.
It demonstrates.
All right.
No, let's just brush over that, yo. Let's go on to something else.
No, we want the picture for that.
Run right through that. Still there, like yeah. Like
every stupid.
Man, all I know they had sunburn then, yo. But go ahead. Okay, straight hair.
Like I said, them northern Nubian types was not what y'all picturing as the Nubians now. Y'all messing that up.
Hey,
all right. Go ahead. Read the next one.
Listen, after assault and call.
Reggie, can you let them read the next one, please? Go ahead.
Let Reggie get it out, please. Don't cut his wisdom.
When I was talking about the Twa people, so I am going to prove that on
all
this
right,
panel,
Reggie, relax. Okay.
On this panel is a bunch of Afro-Asiatics. I am going to prove it that are unread.
I ain't saying just Afro-Asiatics. It's Afro-Asiatics, and you had Nilo-Saharians, and you had.
Listen, we trying to read the next paragraph. Why? Come on now. We got to keep a flow going. Then we can get that. Go ahead, Sosa. Dental trait analysis. Go ahead.
Dental trait analysis of A group fossils found affinities with populations inhabiting Northeast Africa, the Nile Valley, and East Africa. Among the sample populations, the A group people were nearest to Kerma culture bearers, and Kush populations of Upper Nubia and to Ethiopians, followed by the Meroitic X group in the Christian period inhabitants of Lower Nubia and the Khalis population in the Dakar Oasis, as well as the C group and Pharaonic era skeletons excavated in Lower Nubia and ancient Egyptians.
What? Don't smooth. Don't let the voice faded.
No, it just showed that it was a mixed population moving south. That's what it said. Like
dental analysis of the A group fossils found affinity with the populations inhabited Northeast Africa, Nile Valley, East Africa. Amongst the sample populations, a group of people were nearest to the Kerma culture and Kush populations of Upper Nubian and Ethiopians, followed by Meroitic X group and Christian period inhabitants of Lower Nubia and Kills population in the Kola Oasis. As well as C group and Pharaonic era skeletons excavated in Lower Nubia and ancient Egyptian Nakata, Badarian, Heliopolis, Abydos, and Hindu. I can't even say that. There's Kerhinja.
Yeah, Karga in Upper Egypt, Hawara in Lower Egypt. Yeah.
All righty. It said the linguistic affinity of the A group culture is unknown, but according to Claude Raleigh, it is unlikely to have spoken a language of the Northeastern Sudanic branch of Nilo-Saharian. Beyond this, Raleigh states that the range of possibilities remain wide. We're gonna keep it wide too, and includes a language belonging to another non-East Sudanic branch of Nilo-Saharian family, a Kushite language or Africa. All right, so
mixed hold on, what did y'all get from that? Because I be wanting to know where the confusion come in at.
Well,
no. I just wanted to know because I wanted to do the same thing y'all did. So
so where's the confusion at?
It's not
the confusion.
There's no confusion. The confusion lies.
You don't have no confusion. So go ahead, Asar. Where's the confusion at?
So the confusion.
You gotta talk to Reggie.
No, go ahead.
You gotta talk to Reggie and Asar. I'm good.
So the confusion is kind of clear to me. Because keep sharing your screen real quick. I want to read the particular quote right there.
How much time? What's the quote?
I don't need a lot. You stay right there. Stay right there. So why you keep moving? Stay right there.
That's the end of it. Like, I mean, I can go down.
Yeah, but you keep moving up and down. I don't need you.
I was trying to get in the middle of the screen. Go ahead.
Okay, my fault. So it says right here, where'd it go? Followed by the Meroitic or Meroitic, if you will, X group and Kush, Upper Nubia, right? Lower Nubia, and the Kellis population and the Kala Oasis. You know the Kala is like Sudani. Pharaonic era skeletons excavated in Lower Nubia and ancient Egyptians, Nakata Badari, Heracanopolis, Abydos, and Karga in Upper Egypt. That's clear. The linguistic affinity of the A group, meaning how they speak, culture is unknown. But according to Claude Riley, so there's our guy, Claude Riley, is unlikely to have spoken a language of the northeastern Sudanic branch of Nilo-Saharan. Beyond, the Riley states that the range of possibilities remains wide and includes a language beyond them, northeastern Sudan, meaning further up.
Yeah,
so
to another
Nilo-Saharan family, a Cushitic language. And you know what Kush is. Kush is what you, or Afro-Asiatic.
Language,
So we're talking Afro-Asiatic, you're talking black language, or you're talking Kush language, which we know is Nubian.
No, that's not what he's saying. Cushitic language is the Cushitic language is the Afro-Asiatic language. Cushitic it don't have nothing to do with the kingdom of Kush or Kerma. They just talk, that's a group.
Incorrect.
It's a branch
like
of
Somali type
Afro-Asiatic. I don't know what this guy doing, yo.
What are
some of the
Somali?
languages in Eritrea. Them
Y'all got two people talking is ridiculous. We not doing it one at a time, yo. Reel it in. Whatever you saying ain't that damn important to talk over each other because we don't even hear what y'all saying.
So it's clear. And look, Nilo-Saharan.
Jumble at this point. What's clear? What are you saying is clear, yo?
Well,
what's clear? What's is a healthy mixed population of Africans. Now, what's clear to you
about the unknown part?
We talking mixed population of Africans, but we're still talking Africans. Exactly. So we're still talking African.
Right, yo. We're not. Man, it's more than one way to be African.
I'm saying we got pigs, and then we got tunes. We got people with straight black and brown hair.
See, and that's where the confusion comes in. When we start
talking like that. The burials is the burials, man.
When we start talking like that. Watch this. I'm gonna make him professor. Brother Sosa, say black African power for us real quick.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna make him professor.
That's model right.
Yeah, that's the African
American with the banger.
Nah, we a different. We
in a whole different era now. He ain't no black African.
Yeah.
All right, that's okay. My conclusion is that it's it's just like all homos say, good mix. Yeah, that's fun for me.
Yeah, but it's showing that our idea of that culture in other Nubians is fallacious.
Nah,
because we're not thinking niggas with jet black straight hair. That's the last thing on my mind.
No, we ain't thinking that. Last thing, but it ain't the truth. Hey, Gella, you got something to add to the discussion, bro? You've been cut off. I want to hear you all the way through, bro.
Got a source of nut. You want a source of nut?
Yeah, no. What I was saying was he was saying the Cushitic language is the Nubian language. No, Cushitic language is a branch of Afro-Asiatic. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the Bija or the Somali type language. You know what I'm saying? That's an Afro-Asiatic language too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But Nubian language could be either one. It could be Afro-Asiatic or Nilo-Saharan. It could be either one because that was all mix and matching for a long time.
So you don't want to say no to that because Cushitic includes that language.
You said what now?
Said you don't want to say no to that because Cushitic includes the Kush language.
Say no to what?
You were saying nah, but no, it is Cushitic. See, you saying no again.
But you were saying it was as if it's Cushitic is exclusive to being Nubian.
No one said exclusive. You thought that in your mind. You saying no to it, but you being correct saying no to it because Cushitic and Kush language are synonymous with each other.
Yeah, but no, it's not. It's not synonymous with the kingdom of Kush. That's something totally different.
Let's look up Cushitic language.
The coin language Cushitic. The coin language Cushitic is just a group of languages, an Afro-Asiatic language that lives around like the Red Sea Hill area. It's sprouted around those zones.
So we're ignoring the stop sign that the person said that it is unknown, and it just made a hypothesis.
Hold up 1 second.
Yeah, it can range down. It could be either one. It could be Nilo-Saharan, Cushitic. It's an Afro-Asiatic language, though. You said it like it wasn't an Afro-Asiatic language.
Let's see what it is. No, because I included Afro-Asiatic in my answer. But
you call Afro-Asiatic the black language. That's crazy.
Let's look it up and see, because it say it right here. Cushitic languages. And it says right here, Egypt, Sudan, Horn of Africa, East Africa, Afro-Asiatic, Cushitic, Proto-Cushitic, Beha, Agu, Dule, Highland, East Cushitic. Let's pull them up. Let's pull them up.
For what?
Lowland, East Cushitic.
You speaking to the choir,
because
bro.
you're trying to say that it ain't from Nubia, but it is. Stop trying to take Africa out of Africa. That's what you do. You try to move that ball.
Nubian
Let's
language
say,
is
yeah,
not
it is
Nubian.
Cushitic. Because it
Nubian
is.
language is Nilo-Saharan, bro. Like, look up Nubian language. Look up my eyes.
What is Nilo-Saharan? Is that an Afro-Asiatic language?
No. Nilo-Saharan is his own family. It's a whole other family group, bro.
And you trying to say they're not looped together? Do I need to see? You're gonna make
look
me
it up, bro.
I have. I did a whole debate on it.
Them people been neighbors for thousands of years, ever since the beginning of the Heliocene, but they distinct groups. Even though they cross each other's zones, you know what I'm saying? They distinct groups.
Chinese ain't Japanese, but they still got ancestors and they connected. We still call them Asian.
Look up, bro. Just look up Nubian language, bro. Look up Nubian language. See what family.
We got it. Cushitic languages are a branch of the Afro-Asiatic.
No, I said look up Nubian language. Type in
listen
Nubian
to what
language.
I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
Hold on, I'm gonna do it for you.
You type it in while I'm saying this. They spoken in the Horn of Africa with minority speaking Cushitic languages in North Egypt and the Sudan, and to the south in Kenya and Tanzania. The Cushitic languages with over 1 million. Done. I don't even know why you arguing that point.
Look, Nubian language, Eastern Sudanic, Nilo-Saharan phylum. This is not Afro-Asiatic.
We just covered Sudan. We just covered Sudan all the way down to Tanzania.
No, we talking about that's a region. We talking about a language family, bro. This is what they call a language family. We're not talking about no region no more. This Eastern Sudanic is.
You don't know what you're talking about there.
Look
I'm
at the
trying
screen.
to tell you.
Nilo-Saharan.
Watch this. Origin and prehistory. Christopher Ehrhart, so we got a person, argues for a unified Proto-Cushitic language in the Red Sea Hills as far back as early Holocene. Based on onomastic evidence, the Magi, the Pygmies of northern Nubia, are believed to have spoken Cushitic languages related to modern Beha language. We're done here, right?
I believe. Yeah.
All right, then. We're done here. Let me be clear.
What you talking about, bro?
We just told you what we took. Christopher Ehrhart, the expert on it, says it's Proto-Cushitic. Are we clear?
That's Cushitic. That's Cushitic language. We're not talking about. We're not talking about Nubia.
About Cushitic. Oh God.
You got two major language families in Nubia, bro. In the region of Nubia.
Y'all just leave them alone.
You got Cushitic language, Afro-Asiatic, and you got what they call Nubian language, which is Nilo-Saharan language. The language that they coined Nubian is Nilo-Saharan. It's not Afro-Asiatic. Nilo-Saharan is its own language family. You have like 4 major language families in Africa: Khoisan, Nilo-Saharan, Niger-Congo, and Afro-Asiatic.
You just said Nubian was not a Cushitic language. We just read Nubian is a Cushitic language. Do you have anything to say?
You didn't say Nubian. It's Nubian have Cushitic language. Parts of Nubia have Cushitic language.
So stop it. So all right, you just admitted it again. Stop it. Cushitic is part of the Nubian language. Anybody trying to argue against that?
No, I'm not talking. The Nubian. Listen.
Y'all heard them. We good.
Listen. Look at the screen.
Here, you want me to show the screen where it say it right here?
Look at it right here. Where it say Afro-Asiatic at? Where it say Cushitic languages at? Cushitic language.
You ain't even covering.
Branch is not even Nilo-Saharan.
Noblin, the largest Nubian language group. It's right at the bottom. Right there. Don't pass it. Noblin, the largest, and you're gonna pass it. Noblin, and you're gonna keep passing it. Noblin,
you're looking at your screen, so it's probably a little delayed.
Look, it's Nilo-Saharan.
And it's also Cushitic.
No, it's not. Cushitic is Afro-Asiatic. That's part of the whole different family.
Look at Gullah, let him have it, yo. Let him have it.
You done sharing? Here, I'm gonna share. I'm gonna show you so you know. Cause you done sharing. Let's look right here.
Them niggas gonna be
Egyptian.
Hold on.
Let's say right here.
By the end of this, they gonna be Egyptian. I'm telling you.
They not, man. We read all the sources, man. We can't make conclusions. We can't do all that shit that the experts not doing.
Watch this. I'm gonna show you my experts. Hold on. Watch this.
Uncle Sadiq said check your Facebook Messenger app.
It's right here. Let me move this down. Right here.
You're not even sharing nothing, bro. I'm sharing the screen.
They just not showing the screen, yeah. Because you still sharing. If you hit stop share to go to my joint.
No, I'm showing some sources. I'm gonna go to Roger Blanche real quick. Hold on.
We got the source right here. We got Christopher Ehret right here.
I have Roger Blanche, another linguistics, another language. I use Christopher Ehret too. I used his source last week. What are you talking about?
Well, then you should know what he said concerning it, right? Based on onomastic evidence, the Medjai and the Blinis of northern Nubia are believed to have spoken
Yes, that's a C group. That's the Nubian C group.
And they are Nubians.
Group, but all
so what you arguing about? They Nubians and they speak.
Language is not Cushitic.
No one said that. You said that. You said that. No one said that. We said Nubians speak Cushitic. You said no. But you got evidence saying they do.
No, that's
I
not
know.
what I said.
So quit saying no.
I said no to, bro.
He said all of them didn't speak it.
That's not what I said.
All of them. And then he said exclusive originally. No one said that either.
Let God explain this point. Let God explain the point that he was trying to make.
Look, bro, look. Okay, hold on. Afro-Asiatic languages. You know what I'm saying? You see Cushitic right here, right? Deja, Aga, you know what I'm saying? Some of these people live in the Nubian and Sudanic region. That's why I say Nubia is a loaded term, bro. Ain't no fucking Nubian until you get to the Roman period in the first damn place. These are different tribes, these different people. It's not a homogeneous thing, bro.
They black and they spoke Cushitic in that area.
No, they wasn't black.
When we say Nubia and we talk
black.
about that.
They wasn't black. It wasn't no people speaking English then, so it wasn't no black.
Okay, so they wasn't Nubian and they definitely wasn't Afro.
They were brown. They were different shades of brown skin human beings.
They didn't say brown. They said Kim and they said Hedja for white.
Well, they didn't call it. That's because of the land. They don't have to do that's not.
Nah, it's because of the language. Medunet.
No, bro.
And it's also in the Nahesi language.
Look, Nilo-Saharan
language.
This guy's all
Nilo-Saharan, Eastern Sudanic. It's the Nubian languages. Eastern Sudanic.
It's the Nubian languages, huh?
But it's not. Cushitic is not part of this family. This is a whole different family, right?
Well, stop sharing so we can look and see if it is or not.
We looking.
No, you looking at his. I said stop sharing so we can.
This is Roger Blanche, bro. This is language. This is a linguistics article, bro.
And you said you use Christopher Earhart. Let's see what Christopher say. You scared to see what he said?
He said the same. He said the same shit.
No, I just read what he said. I read what he said. What he said is different than what you're showing.
No, let's unshare.
It wrong, so bro. Let's read. Let's see.
Hold on, let me show you.
Let me know when my screen's sharing, so we can see what he say.
Let him share.
The map shows you that those language groups overlap.
You don't want to show it.
Nilo-Saharan and Cushitic overlap
is it showing?
East Africa. Like, yo, why are y'all doing
exactly? Because he says no.
That's what I'm saying. He's saying no. This dude is saying Cushitic. Cushitic is he's saying Cushitic. Nilo-Saharan is part of Africa.
Then so what happened? Hold on. What happened is y'all misinterpreted what each other was saying, yo.
Yep.
That's all that happened, yo.
Yep.
And y'all gonna beat each other brains out over a miscommunication, yo.
No, I'm gonna just keep it a buck, cause if we say it, what we gotta do is understand that Proto-Cushitic language in the Red Sea Hills, as far back as the early Holocene,
with that
onomastic evidence. The Medjai,
I know all this, bro. You sing it to the choir right now, dog.
You have spoken Cushitic languages related to the modern Beja language. Mm-hmm. So we know right here in southern Nubia, and in northern Nubia. So we know Cushitic is part of the Nubians' language. We don't say it's not part of their language when we know.
But listen to me, I saw. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying the language that they call Nubia, Nubian language, that they coined Nubia language today, or Nilo-Saharan languages. They're not Afro-Asiatic.
No,
but yes, the people that they generally call Nubia or the area, you have Afro-Asiatic people there. You got Nilo-Saharan people there, but the language the language family that they coined Nubian today is Nilo-Saharan. It's not Cushitic.
Brother, we know one of us went there. One of us speaks to the people when I go there. But Proto-Cushitic is part of Nubia. So we can't say it's not part of Nubia.
Nah, I ain't gonna say it's part of Nubia because it wasn't no Nubia then. Nubia is some Roman shit. It's part of Sudan. It's part of the Sudanic area.
So that's not even.
I ain't using
Sudan wasn't even the name.
Nubia is a loaded. Nubia wasn't Nubia. When you don't get Nubia to the Roman period, you get the Nobate kingdoms, bro. It wasn't no Nubia. You got Perma culture. You got Napata kingdom. You got the Magi area. You know the Bellinis. You don't have no Nubia until you get to the Romans.
Actually, you have Nebu area, and I could pull up the sentences for it. But
it just means gold. You talking about the Nuba Hills? You talking about the Nuba Hills?
No, you have to understand where they went to go get the gold from, and that area is what is referred to as Nubia. Just like you've been saying Egypt all night. So let's be clear: those people in that area spoke a Proto-Cushitic language.
Not all
we can move past.
We didn't say all of them. You saying exclusive. Once again, you put.
I didn't say exclusive. You saying exclusive. You small.
No, you said that. I'm telling you.
Either one of y'all said exclusive. Let's just go ahead and move.
All right, we're gonna move past that, man. And so what conclusion me off of that? You were saying what, Gullah? Basically.
Oh God.
He gone.
He on mute. Just go ahead. Let's not pick up at the language argument, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're not.
Can I go back to the Pygmy stuff?
Oh, all right. Reddy's making an arc.
So yeah, and then I'm gonna bring, and then we're gonna end it. I'm gonna bring this source.
No, I'm up. I'm up for a little while now.
Okay, all right. You up? Okay, but I got a source that this matter of fact, Sadiq Abdul, appreciate that, bro. But yeah, I'm highly familiar with this source right here. This is a great source right here. Great source. Appreciate that, brother, bringing that. Yeah, this is because that's like one of my favorite Egyptologists. Yeah, Maria Ghetto. But go ahead, Reggie. And then we're gonna read the source, and then y'all can. Go ahead.
You can't prove that they weren't Pygmy just because the Egyptians had an affinity.
All right, so why don't you just be quiet for a second? I'm talking.
I know what you're gonna do. Go ahead.
All right, so I heard what you said. So let's just do it by just do it by the numbers, right? First, my general statement is that y'all, many of you, not all of you, are really unlearned, right? You need to take a proper university Africana studies or Egyptology studies class from a university. So let's just do it by the numbers, because let's just deal with the pygmy, the dwarves, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm sharing my screen. I'm sharing my screen from, it's called Pygmies and Dwarves in Ancient Egypt, right? Mm-hmm. Pygmies and Dwarves in Ancient Egypt. The pharaohs of Egypt and their noblemen from the earliest times delighted to have in their household dwarves and other misshapen human beings. The particular taste has been a very wide distribution. All right, pygmies, even though it's a pejorative term, you unlearned people, in the tomb of Harkuf in Aswan, there's an interesting inscription which refers to pygmies. Or Harkuf made 4 journeys in southern Nubia, where he traveled westward. 3 of his journeys were made in the reign of Minari, and the 4th, that of Pepi II, both kings of the 6th dynasty. So I was wrong about the 1st dynasty for Harkuf, the 6th dynasty. While on his last journey, he wrote to the king reporting that he secured a pygmy. All right, forget about that. That's a pejorative term.
No. That's important though. That's very.
That's just one person though. They don't mean that's on a normal
The late Professor Breasted, in his translation, used throughout the word dwarf, the Egyptian word is ding, which means pygmy. The word for dwarf being nimi. So that's the meta nature of the terms, right? You don't have the terms. You don't have the information. All you're doing is transactional. You're reacting to me, but you ain't got no primaries.
Bro, you throwing red herrings, bro. You talking about one dude. You didn't prove that that's what that is on a normal palette though, bro. You just throwing out red herrings.
Wait.
You actually dagged yourself.
Wait. Let me get to it, right?
And dwarf can mean anything. Anybody can have dwarfism. It could be somebody in Egypt with dwarfism.
Hey,
whoa, hey, Reggie, hold on, yo, hold on.
Let him make his presentation. Let him lay it down.
Wait a minute, yo.
Why am I getting interrupted?
Who is that yelling like that? Why y'all talking over each other, man? You whoa, yelling and screaming like y'all became uncouth around here.
No, because I'm talking.
I know, but relax, Reggie. You ain't got to holler and scream. Relax, we're gonna calm it down, bro. Now, Chef, did you stop the show? We on another show, right, Chef?
Yeah, new link is up, y'all.
Yeah, new damn link. All right, because we out the movies, niggas, and made the Nubians Egypt, and we just read all that shit. They different. We not doing that.
But look, hold on. We still got 110 people on the other link. Yo, y'all go over to the new link, to the new stream. The link is in there. But they loving y'all build. That's crazy.
Damn. Reggie, so okay, Reggie, I ain't gonna let you do foolishship though. Now we're talking about the anonymous palette and those people on the anonymous palette. Don't get us with the trickum shit, bro. We all know, because you tricked me yesterday. You was like, that's the pygmy. I was like, damn, I ain't know that, but I let you slide. Now we're addressing it. So I hope what you bringing is that, Reggie.
Okay.
And the dwarfs in ancient Egypt. I don't think anybody's denying that, Reggie. But go ahead, Reggie.
Okay.
Don't go ahead. Don't interrupt them. Go ahead, Reggie.
Dwarves in ancient Egypt fulfilled various offices and duties, sometimes of an important kind, but I know of no evidence whether they were engaged in performing sacred dances as the Ding or Pygmies were. They are frequently represented in charge of jewelry, or pet animals, or in personal attendance about their masters. These dwarves are generally of the male sex, female, sex females being much rarer. Although in modern times, androplasia occurs more frequently, right?
Y'all go over to the new stream, y'all. It's up. And we still rocking. I hope y'all enjoyed this first part. Now go over to the second part and watch Reggie body bag these niggas. Let me put the link back in there. Click that. Part 2 is up. Now y'all get y'all funky asses out of here.
You know, normally I don't, like to talk on the track, but I was just thinking the other day, I'm like, damn, niggas be hating on a nigga.
New stream up. Click the new stream.
I figure out why
they still over there on the Zoom getting it in.
I learned, in order to understand the motherfucker, you gotta look at things from their perspective, put yourself in their shoes. That's how I came.
They say Soldier ain't from the hood. He ain't had the news on the stove, he looking too good. Living in the house, fireplace, he burning the wood. Riding in that mirror every day, yeah, just like he should. Wish I would if I could, but I hate that nigga. Ain't that nigga